And welcome everybody to episode 114 of the podcast.
Steve's ready to go.
I'm ready to go today.
He's jumping
Got
at
a
a theme
gut
song.
full of Papa John's pizza.
No shakaroni.
No shakaroni. R.I.P. shakaroni pizza.
Yeah.
So this is now you threw me off because you started talking.
You just
As
jumped out.
always, this is your co-host Steve, and joined by
Charles.
and via satellite PV. How you doing out there in Illinois?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, so big weekend, big college football started up today. We had NFL Thursday, and still got a lot of COVID, even though some states don't think they do.
Yeah.
but-
Namely Florida is
Yeah.
what we're discussing.
Here in Michigan was a busy week with our governor and our presidential candidates this week. So the Michigan gyms and bowling alleys, I don't remember if I covered this last week, but they have been officially opened. But what has not been opened, and Charles is laughing at me all the way, the theaters. Essentially everything.
Because the world doesn't need them
Everything in the
anymore.
world, everything right now is open except for theaters. That's the only thing left. I think you can even go to a bar. I've been to a bar, so you can go to bars. You can go to a wedding.
Do you still eat outside? I wonder. I
No.
What's the rule? Are you able to
No.
eat it? Because I see on Michigan
I went to
Avenue,
the
live right by
scoreboard and I had some steak bites right at the scoreboard
okay.
inside.
What are steak bites?
Just
Just
chunks
chunks of
of
steak?
steak with garlic
Okay.
bread. It was fine. It was $6, whatever. I was like,
No.
I don't want to eat a lot at the scoreboard. Not exactly the cleanest place in the world.
How dare you? Much of our listenership eats at the scoreboard.
Yeah, because it's like 30 Annapolis graduates all hitting on two
Yeah.
skanks in a bikini at the fucking
Oh.
scoreboard.
So wait, so at the scoreboard is like a bikini-clad waitress
Yes,
or something like
yes,
that?
yeah.
Oh, I don't think.
But
I
they don't wear
knew that.
bikini bottoms. They have like little shorty shorts, but bikini tops.
Where is the scoreboard at?
It's right there in Van Born and Pelham, right
oh,
there.
where the mix.
Where the old donut shop is, go
Yeah,
past
yeah,
it.
yeah,
That
yeah.
dive that does not even have a paid parking lot. That's the
Yeah.
scoreboard.
Oh, jeez.
3 Nick scoreboard or something they call it. It's been there for years. It's been there a long time.
And you're saying a bunch of Annapolis jerk-offs are in there? all the
Usually,
time?
like my brother-in-law goes there quite a bit, and there's
Oh.
certain bars around here that a lot of Annapolis jerk-offs hang out. That's one of them. It used to be the Confetti Lounge there on Pelham and Outer Drive, but I think that went out of business. The trolley stop down there in Allen Park, and then the Ford Lanes is an Annapolis reunion every other night. So those are the places if you don't want to run into
we like to
Annapolis
go
graduates.
bowling. I don't know.
Yeah,
we
but-
took that out.
Yeah, but the bowling alley is, from what I understand, there's no open bowling. You just have to be part of some kind of league or something like that right now.
Okay,
So.
they're not just letting you off the street, so it's still no good for
and
me.
even then they restrict how much.
But it helps
beer
someone
and
like
stuff.
Bob, who's trying to get his daughter.
Bob and the bowling itch and
Yeah.
that heroin bowling he has to have. So, and also this week we had 2 presidential candidates here. Trump was here Thursday. He was at Saginaw / Mid Michigan.
Isn't that where the dam broke or whatever? Isn't
yeah.
that where that was?
Yeah,
right?
somewhere in
It was
that area.
Midland or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
was
watched some highlights of that
What's that,
on.
baby?
It flooded Midland. My parents, their property is on that lake that no longer exists. The water is all gone.
So they have a mud front property, is what you're telling us
Yes.
right now?
Wow.
Yeah,
it-
they're hearing
there's
at least
literally-
5 or 6 years before the water's returned.
Wow, that's awesome. Do they have a boat and
Are
stuff
they
like
go out there with
that
a
too?
hose and just throw it in the lake?
Yeah, they have a pontoon boat.
They got a pontoon boat that doesn't do well in mud. Oh
Well,
man.
Bill's dad's handy. He can put tank treads on it.
Yeah, I guess so, man.
You want to ride around the pond?
Because yeah, we were talking about that because I had seen that whole thing, and like I said, just what do those people do? You had a lakefront property, now you got nothing. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I did watch on Facebook someone posted, I think it was the Free Press, the Trump rally. First off, there is no social distancing. This was like a fucking concert.
Yeah.
They showed the crowd. Everyone's shoulder to shoulder. There's no mask. He comes out and like he just starts. He's like a stand-up comedian. He just starts making cracks. They start chanting. It was the closest thing you could watch to a live cult meeting. It really is. But I mean, some of his
That's
points
his
are good.
fan
some of
base
it
out
not.
there in Saginaw, though.
Yeah, and he promoted John James a lot.
That's that guy who's going up against Senator
Mike
Peters
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Gary Peters.
Gary
or
Peters, yeah. It was a good half hour of him promoting that guy. So, and then in Warren, Joe Biden was here, and he did. I didn't see his because I didn't see anyone post it. Usually, what happens is if something gets posted, I'll watch it, but I didn't see it. But he was here. He was talking to the automakers and stuff like that. So, both presidential candidates were here in Michigan. A big swing state, I think we're becoming.
Yeah.
And a
Well,
battleground state.
I was
guess
going to
they
say,
call it.
in the past 2 elections, the state of Michigan's been a pretty big linchpin for a lot of the voting and stuff like that. So they've definitely battled over it. I remember when, like I said, in 2016, like to the bitter end, they were fighting over Michigan and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Bert badly wanted to go to this Trump rally.
Why didn't he?
He couldn't make it in time because he didn't get off till 5, and it's at 7. He figured he wouldn't get in.
Okay.
Because these Trump rallies, you don't get there early. I guess you can't get in, which is.
We have to tailgate, right?
I still kind of want to see.
He got a tailgate.
I kind of want to see a Trump rally, but I don't want to go during
I'm
COVID.
a little afraid. I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
shoulder
like,
to shoulder, everybody not wearing
the
masks.
super spreaders or whatever they're calling those
I was
events.
like,
man.
I think I'm good on that one.
Not
So,
good on
but I
that.
do find them entertaining. If anything else, all right. So, and then also, if you didn't catch it, this past Thursday we had our football preview show where Bill picked Iowa State to do a lot of damage this year. But other than that, also that night, and we didn't get to talk about it because I got the figure. The game was on. It was the Chiefs and the Texans. Kind of went by the numbers. No big surprise. Any thoughts from either of you on the game from Thursday?
Well, I'll tell you. I don't know if BV's take, but I'll just talk about like as far as in a pandemic, what the product looked like. I think it looked great. I have no issues with it. Everything still felt like an NFL game. Nothing. You wouldn't know it was weird until they panned the crowd and all that. My only question to you guys is: was the audience volume just on the broadcast side, or was it in the stadium side as well? That was the one thing I could never. I kind of got a mixed answer from a lot of people. So, in other words, were the Texans dealing with like a piped-in audio stadium side, or was
I
that
don't think
purely
they
on
pump.
production?
I don't think they pump it in stadium side. They only pump it
production.
for the
Yeah,
production. But there
okay.
was still 17,000 people there.
Yeah, but again, 17,000 at Arrowhead is nowhere close to what Arrowhead could be.
It
That
looked
was
like
kinda
a
my
weird
whole
bowl
take.
game, like around Christmas time.
Yeah, it was a little sudden. But
Yeah.
as far as the product and everything like that, I loved it. BV, you have any thoughts on the game?
I'm with you on that. Once game gets going or whatever, and unless they made a point to show something.
Well,
You
Andy
really wouldn't-
Reid rocking that plastic visor was a little distracting.
Well, yeah, but
he's
as
got
far
the
as the
mask of
game
the
and
weekend,
gameplay
I
is
think.
concerned,
yeah.
as far as the game and gameplay is concerned, you really would have had no idea that anything was going on, or if there was any sort of pandemic. It was pretty much football as usual. Game, I think, went pretty much how we kind of expected it to. KC still looks really good, and they didn't play all that well. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I've heard a lot of
Ratings
a
are
lot of
way down
conflicting-
as far as what I was seeing.
They said 20
on-
million watched.
They were saying it was way down. I'm just
I don't
telling
know.
you. I
I don't know how many watched
so,
last year in the opener.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that we missed because we were here doing the podcast, and BV didn't mention it when he watched the beginning of the game at home. I guess there was some national anthem
Yeah,
things.
they booed or something. The Texans
Yeah.
stayed in the locker room.
They didn't come out at all, and then when they finally did, they locked arms with the Chiefs,
trying to do some kind of
and
show.
the crowd was booing them.
Yeah.
And now, did they play the Black national anthem? I didn't hear about that. They were supposed to start doing that at games. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the Black National
I don't
Anthem
either.
is.
They made a big announcement
Yeah.
about it.
I'm just
but
being
they didn't
honest.
play it.
Oh, and I had it on mute, so I didn't catch any of that. I had it on mute while we were finishing up the football show, so I missed all of that.
So they had to take their jab at the John. I won't say his name, but certain people in the world that don't like that stuff. They had to show all that stuff. It's funny. So we didn't see it, and I was watching the highlights the next day on the news. That's the first thing they show as a highlight was the beginning and who sat down, who didn't. So it's like, do we have to cover this every 2 seconds? But I know I get
Well,
time
the
we're
problem's
living
going to
in.
be is like that's the world we live in right now. And what's hard is like and again, we're not political on this show or whatever, but like
Yeah.
I can see everyone's side. Like I literally just want to watch football, man. I just
Yeah.
need some kind of normal thing in my life. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell them they don't get their opinion. I'm not saying shut up and dribble or nothing like that. But man, I just need some freaking football, man. I just need it in 2020. It's killing me.
Well, the one thing I take away from the game, I will give credit to J.J. Watt. He made it to the game without getting hurt. So there is that.
So it'll be week 3 out.
So, I mean, if there's progress of any kind, it's definitely that.
He'll
one.
hurt himself working out this week.
Yeah, flipping that tire. Now, also this past week, the Sturgis rally happened. And
Speaking of super spreaders.
now, there was 500,000 people allegedly. Now, I do have a question on this. So I read an article. I forgot to link it, though. And this is only 4 or 5 days after Sturgis. That the article said in the headline, 250,000 cases will be caused from Sturgis. That's half half of the people in Sturgis, and it's going to cost, I forget what it was, $1 trillion on the U.S. economy to help fix all these open. Now, how do they know this? Did they test
Well,
that
I will
many?
tell you,
Are these just estimates?
What
What's
I've
going on
learned
here?
during this pandemic is there's a lot of statisticians and people who can triangulate in theory. So the 250,000 are not attendees. What they're saying is that with the asymptomatic people, you could spread it.
But they came to this conclusion within 4 days of Sturgis. How did they do that?
They probably can say how close you were, how many people attended, and they can triangulate
I think
that
those numbers are
out.
bloated.
I'm not here to
over half.
I know you wanted to go to the Trump rally. I'm not
I know,
here to
but
get
I'm
into
just
all
saying.
this.
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's been statistical models since the beginning. Like, how are they able to relatively accurately anticipate how many people overall would get it as time went on? They've been modeling how it spreads and whatnot since the beginning,
now,
and they can do this relatively accurately.
I think it has to do with how many people you would interact with and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Just stay home, people. That whole Sturgis thing, and I get what Steve's saying. It was the left versus the right. The right says, what pandemic? The left's going like you're all insane. I get what Steve's saying.
Yeah.
But like
I
at
just
some
think
point, that was pretty irresponsible. Is all
Yeah,
I'm gonna
well,
say.
of course it was, and like I said, I'm not going to something like that.
Yeah.
You're not, and Bill's not. But 250—that's half of the crowd. That seems like a high
Yeah,
estimate.
but you're saying that again. It's 1-to-1 on those people.
If
That's
they,
not the implication.
yeah, but if they would have said 1,000 people might have left that there with it,
Yeah,
that's
but
a little more
you're
viable.
assuming attendees, though. What
Yeah.
they're saying is if one person had it, how many people would they touch in their 24-hour period? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Again,
Yes.
statisticians and baseball and all that kind of stuff is crazy. We'll be the first people to tell you that. I think that's where they're going with it.
So, and then also,
Yes, a total number of people would be affected, like by their how many people. That includes all the people that
They would
transmit
hand off
after the
to and hand off
Yeah.
their hand off. And,
all right. So you can question the numbers if you want, but whatever. I wasn't going to Sturgis anyway, so I don't really care. I don't need to go to South Dakota for any reason. Also, now this week, because Monday Night Football is coming back this Monday, Hank Williams Jr. will not be singing his song again. We covered it a little bit on Thursday. He has been fired again from Monday Night Football. I forget because of the Rowdy Friends thing, or ESPN
I
came
don't
with
know, man.
some lame excuse. I forget what it was.
I gotta tell you, like, so that Sunday Night Football one where she comes out all tough too. What's the young girl?
Carrie
who's
Underwood.
super hot. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
like, do we really need this? I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Like, I get we're in a TikTok world, and I'm an old dinosaur and all
Just
this
give
kind
me
of
the
stuff.
dun 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 dun, and then the two
Yeah.
helmets of who's playing. That's all I
Pick an
need.
old school ESPN logo or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
I
that's
don't
all.
know.
Two
Put
heads
them in
clashing.
mustard suits. I don't
Yeah,
know.
have Al Michaels say just talk about the matchup, and I don't need the song and stuff
I think
too,
it's
but-
just it's all that like that weird because like the Super Bowl definitely suffers from it where it's like we need this pageantry to drive ratings. It's like no, you just need a good football game to
Yeah.
drive ratings. Would be my argument.
Well, the Super Bowl's case, they need to pad out the 18 hours that they have the coverage
yeah,
of.
and
But-
instead of it, quite frankly, you hit on this in the football special. Stop attacking Hank Williams and fix the booth. Is what you really need to do on Monday
really.
Night Football.
As a matter of fact, put Hank Williams
Yeah.
in the booth.
Yeah, dude.
Let's
fix
do
your
that.
fix your commentating crew.
I mean, I don't know what's going on there. So
Where's Sarah Goose at? Bring him back.
Oh, he was just
Sure.
entertaining. All right, now Charles, are you familiar with Skip Bayless?
I'm well aware of Skip Bayless. He's opposite of Shannon Sharp on what he's on FS1 now.
Yeah.
He's a character. He tries really hard, and Steve's
Yeah.
buying into it.
I know him and Stephen A. Smith just say outlandish things to
They
get
just
people.
try
up.
to get you to go.
But
on.
I mean, we have a friend that died from suicide and / depression, maybe else.
You're
a lot of-
referring to explain what it is. So Dak Prescott came out and he explained that he is suffering from depression. He lost his brother to
Yeah.
a suicide.
And mother 6 years
Yeah,
ago.
he's struggling mentally right now, and
He can't
no
get a,
one
he
would
can't get a
argue.
contract. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really brutal stuff, and mental health issues notwithstanding, Skip Bayless came out against him, is what you're going.
Yeah,
with. So
and
go ahead.
Skip Bayless was like, he should have kept it to himself. I mean, seriously? That's how you end up eating a gun when you keep it to yourself. As his point was, as a leader of men and a leader on the football field, that if he did need help, just quietly go get help and don't come out and say anything about it publicly. When we have friends that have committed suicide
I was gonna say, I
and
think-
family members, and it's like, fuck you, Skip
Yeah,
Bayless.
I think it comes off very tone deaf.
Yeah.
is what it is, and it's so in society in 2020, and I'm sure all three of us will co-sign this. Like you know, what they're trying to do is stop with the machismo bullshit and just be on. Don't be a wimp in the corner, but at the same time, you could still struggle with things and still be a strong leader of men. It's not. That's like saying like people who have PTSD from Iraq shouldn't tell anyone. It's like that doesn't
suck it up. Don't say that in front of your soldiers.
It's like, man, they've seen some shit, and you know, Dak Prescott in his personal life, not his football career, because I hate him as a football player, but in his personal life, he's seen some shit and he's going through some shit. And it's okay to say that, you know.
Any thoughts on that, Bill, and what you think of Skip Bayless?
Well, I tend to agree generally that he's a piece of shit, and he's completely sensational. I mean, he just says things to rile people up.
And stuff.
Yeah, but the idea, though, that I mean, this whole antiquated idea that he's a leader and he shouldn't show any weakness in public. I mean, we're not. I would see maybe something to that point if he was airing the team's dirty laundry or talking trash about another player or coach. I mean, the fact that he's got enough, I don't know. I mean, considering, you guys have all been in football locker rooms. You know how like the climate is with the way, the kind of the way people have acted over the years and the way that men act in locker rooms. And for a guy that is a leader to be strong enough to be able to talk about that sort of thing publicly, which a lot of people just wouldn't talk about it at all. I mean, not only is it just a bullshit thing to say for, an attempt to get some headlines and ratings, but it's completely backwards. I'd say, if anything, it increases his credibility.
Yeah. Willing to admit you got an issue.
So the general consensus is Skip Bayless is a piece of shit.
Yeah, and I think BV hit it. It's just, we live in a weird, because I think a lot of like Twitter and a lot of social media, as we broadcast live to Facebook, a lot of social media suffers from that too, where these people say these extreme things, and then in real life you're like, you're a normal human being. Like, what happens to you on the internet? I don't understand.
Keyboard warriors, right?
Yeah.
So let's get Bayless. Now, before we get into a little more college football, there is a certain sport going on, Charles, called the MLB. That's the Major League Baseball.
What does that stand for? Oh, okay. I'm unaware.
Yes. They do some games. Old people like it.
Is that the one where the Blue Jays play
I'm not
in
sure
Pittsburgh?
they do it.
Yeah. That's the one where the announcers talk in a really low voice and you fall asleep while you listen to it.
Great. Right. So tell me of the sport.
So this sport is winding down. It's getting close to the playoffs, and they are looking to do a bubble just like the NBA and NHL did. So they are going to move their playoff teams into a bubble. Now, unfortunately, I should have read the article more closely, but I
fell asleep.
I fell asleep anytime it comes to baseball. And I hate when 97-1 puts the Tigers on. It's like, oh, Christ. They lost 19-0 the other day.
Oh, my God.
I turned around and lost 12-1
The
next
Marlins
day.
had like 29 dropped on them by the Braves. I saw that. I was like, holy crap, 29.
So the shit teams are going to be gone. They're going to move their 6 to 7. How many teams are in the playoffs, Bill?
What's the pennant race?
I think they've increased the number. I'm not quite sure now. I want to say it's
6.
6 or 7 from each side.
Now, if you've listened to the show recently, you know we're going to cover this every week as it goes through because we know nothing about it. So we're going to talk to you about it.
So there we go. So Major League Baseball looking for a bubble.
I think that they have to. You're going to move on to another with college football and all. I think these sports are going to have to develop some. The only thing that is working is a complete controlled bubble. It's just you got to make sure that no one can come or go, and it's tough for these athletes because you're away from your family. But in order to have that sport, I think you're going to have to. I don't see many of these sports surviving without it, at least not through the pandemic.
Yeah, so Charles is also talking about the college, and some of the teams have already hit COVID issues. So the big one is in Virginia, apparently. Don't want to go near Virginia.
Yeah.
Vautech in Virginia have been delayed till September 26th.
Yeah,
right?
Because of COVID issues is what they called it.
Vautech is the one with the COVID issues, or Virginia?
I'm not sure. BV, do you know which one of the ones that actually got... I thought it was both.
I believe both teams have it.
Yeah, I thought it was both.
Yeah. And also, Charles didn't know this, but Memphis, after their big win against Arkansas State, they got a big outbreak of COVID, so their next game's going. Now, they claim, and I don't know how true this is, they hired a party bus after their win. and a bunch of the students got up on a party bus. A bunch of the football players, and they all got it from there.
I like Steve's smirk as he says it because this is the biggest crock of shit I've ever told you, Charles.
Yeah, I know, because even the guy on the radio when he said it, he's
no
like,
way.
the guy on the radio was like, really?
Yeah.
Because it was a late game, too, so it went over. It was like 11, 12 o'clock at night. So they got a party bus from like 12 to like 3.
Like, yeah, if you believe that. I'd like to sell you some waterfront property in Midland,
so
Michigan.
I don't
if you
know.
want to do that.
So enjoy college football while we have it. Clemson,
Yeah.
as Charles was saying, has 3 starters sitting for no particular reason.
yeah, they won't give a reason because Dabo
jock
just
itch. They all got severe jock itch. So they can't
severe
play.
just ran rampant through the whole locker room.
Oh, man.
So on top of this, the ACC said that they came on top or with all these recent COVID issues. They said that they at least need 8 teams to continue on playing in order to continue on the season. I don't know, man. It does not look good. Week 1, week 2, we're already dropping like flies, man. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the NFL postpones anything. I don't think it's going to happen. But, well, good news is Notre Dame did win today. They looked a little shaky at first, but they did win the game.
No preseason.
Yeah,
Or
even
no
better news,
scrimmaging
Iowa
or
State
whatever.
lost just to rub it in the bill. We covered that.
A non-conference game that means nothing to the Big 12 champion.
The Louisiana Raging Cajun.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're not a little
we
nervous
talked
that they
about
couldn't
teams
handle
over those stumbling
Louisiana?
games early on too. So I mean, it can happen to anyone.
And at least we know Michigan didn't lose.
All right, so speaking of our lack of knowledge in sports, let's go through the
Yeah.
NHL random.
Now, I've been
wrap-up.
watching some of these, honestly. And
Yeah? That's a ringing
And-
endorsement for hockey, I'll be honest with you.
Tampa Bay looks really good. Tampa Bay is probably that's my pick if I was going to pick out of the 4 teams left. So out of the 4
So
teams
you've watched
left,
both teams or both
I've
games,
watched-
rather? You've watched both series?
yeah, I've watched parts of all the series at
Okay.
night. I've seen Dallas play. I've seen Vegas play. I've seen Tampa. Actually, yeah, in the Islanders. Tampa beat the Islanders. Islanders. Oh, that was the one. It was 1-1 all the way till 20 seconds left, and Tampa Bay scored to win 2-1. So that was like a pull your heart out your chest one. And then Tampa Bay won 8-0 the first game. So I've been watching a little bit. So that way I can say at least I know. I still can't name a damn player out of any of them. But right now I think Tampa and it looks like Dallas. But right now it's Vegas is losing 1-2 against Dallas. And Tampa Bay's up 2-1 on the Islanders. I think the Islanders are a little spent because they were a low C. They weren't really supposed to be going this far. So I think Tampa's going to finish them off. And I believe Dallas will probably finish off Vegas. And if it's Tampa and Dallas, I like Tampa in that one. But I'm not a hockey expert, so maybe a little later. Now, I've been watching, I did watch a lot of Boston and Toronto. I did watch that one. And that went to double overtime, and then Toronto won, but then Boston finished them off in Game 7. So Miami, who's been sitting chilling because they bounced Milwaukee so quick, now is going to play Miami's going to play
Well-rested
Boston.
Miami team.
Yeah, and then the L.A. teams are struggling a little bit. The Clippers, I mean, I know they got Kawhi Leonard and stuff, but they just don't look as dominant as you'd think they do. They're up 3-2 on Denver, and then the Lakers. The problem with the Lakers is they put them on so goddamn late at night sometimes.
Oh, yeah?
Like,
They're still sticking to like a West Coast timing.
Yeah,
with
it's like
it?
10 o'clock at night sometimes they'd be playing. It's like it's just tipping off at 10. It's like I'm going to go to bed. So,
Yeah.
But they're up 3-1 on Houston. Looks like Houston's about done. I don't know, James. Excuse me. James Harden kind of disappears every playoff.
Yeah.
And I got the hiccups now.
Steve's got hiccups. Perfect for a podcast.
So obviously Miami, Boston are already in the third round. It looks like it's going to be Clippers and Lakers in the third round. Everyone's saying the Lakers and the Clippers are the actual finals.
Yeah?
That's
It
what
is.
Whoever wins that.
Yeah.
Evie, you co-sign that?
Yeah,
Miami. put up a
and I've
little
been
fight.
watching a lot more of this too.
What are
They've
your
taken
thoughts?
James Harden completely out of that series. They just double team him and then make someone else beat him, and they can't do it.
Yeah, they're not even. I mean, they're sort of close, but like the last one was like 108 to 100 or something like that. So there you go. That is our update on the NBA and the NHL. Now, Charles, when it goes to the finals, are you going to be watching any of it?
I mean, I catch it. Like you said, it's a pure timing thing. I told you before, like, I think that NBA playoff basketball is an entertaining product. I'll be the first to tell you. I think it's great. But it's a timing thing. And like I said, right now, for me, with work and everything, and then my daughter at homeschooling and everything while my wife goes back to work, I don't have time for the basketball and stuff like that.
I was telling Bill this. Now, I am by far a more casual fan than a hardcore fan, right? So I was watching Boston, Toronto. I know who Nick Lowry is, or Lowry, and a couple players. But the boss end is one dude, and he's this big, tall, white guy. I don't know his name. He was scoring a shitload in the fourth quarter. So I kept trying to look at the back of his jersey to see his name, but it just say like
Black
equality or
Lives
black.
Matter, yeah.
So I could never figure out who the hell the guy was. That kind of, because this is where stars are made, the playoffs, right? I'd be like, you know what? Put my last name up here so people can see it. But
you have to look under the numbers for that now.
Yeah, you can't barely see
it's
that.
Not natural.
Yeah, it's weird, but I thought that was kind of funny. For the casual fan, that's a problem. The diehard basketball fans.
Already knows who it is.
But we all know.
And by the way, that's Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry. Sorry, I said Nick Lowry, the kicker, right? Didn't I? For the NFL,
The
way
old
back in the
Chiefs
day.
kicker from
Chiefs
back in the
kicker,
80s.
Yeah. All right. Now we wanted to try the Papa John's Shakaroni pizza, but unfortunately, I was not aware that it was a charity pizza and it was only until August 25th. So, but they do have another new item, and I don't know if anyone can see it. A little box,
Got you
probably
on the main there. Yeah.
cold and musty at this point. But these are called Jalapeno Rolls. How the hell does this box open?
Steve can't even manage to open the box.
Well, they put
Peter.
these stupid stickers on it. Why they do that? Because Papa John's again. Bill, quick question: are you toppings on top of the cheese or under the cheese guy?
I'm fine either way.
Oh man, it's got to be on top of the cheese, man. It's got to be on top.
I didn't. You have a major preference when it comes to it. Show those to
Yeah.
the camera real quick before you start getting your greasy fingers on there.
I'm just trying to open the ranch, but so these are it. They're like little rolled up. They got cream cheese and jalapeno in them. They're basically their version of the jalapeno popper that you'll get.
They look like they're
Yes.
wrapped in bread dough.
Yeah.
So a traditional popper is not surrounded by the one got
Well, that's
smashed by the
their
box here.
pizza take on it, right?
Oh, okay. Nothing beats cheese and pizza bread. Like tastes like a pizza dough. That's all I taste is pizza dough.
Yeah, it's like if you had a pizza with jalapenos on it, and the crust left over had a chunk of jalapeno on it. I don't taste any cream cheese. I think they put mozzarella in it instead of cream cheese because it looks like
They got some heat to their peppers. I know that. They got a little heat going, but that's very forgettable for me.
These are $5. Here, put them over there.
They're fine. They're just so. Take a jalapeno popper and shove it in pizza dough. Is that it is?
I think I'd rather just have an jalapeno popper from like Arby's or something. So I would never order those again. They're in the middle.
fine.
They're middle of the road. What 5?
Yeah,
6,
they're the epitome of like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would say.
But if you're gonna order if you wanted a side to go with your pizza, mine go-to would still be a salad or
a salad. By looking at Steve,
I love salads. And everyone knows it too that knows me. And then or wings, right? Wings. That'd probably be it. I don't see.
I mean, they're hitting a little heat to me. I got
Yeah,
the heat
yeah, I feel a
going.
little
Yeah, they're definitely a little hot. But like I said, Steve hit it. It's just very middle of the road. It's nothing like, oh man, you're ordering Papa John's. Get me some of those jalapeno popper chunks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
They're
one's
just
gonna
kinda
do
like,
that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, Bill. What are your take on jalapeno poppers? Are they? If Bill orders an appetizer, are the jalapeno poppers on the list, or is this something else?
Very rarely, and certainly not with pizza. And I guess I'm not missing anything, but apparently a franchisee who had an entire territory near us went out of business like 6 months ago, and so the closest Papa John's is like a half hour away now.
Oh,
But no, jalapeno poppers are something I'll do it on a rare occasion. If I'm gonna order something to go along with pizza, though, I'll either get like an Italian cheese bread or wings.
Yeah. I would co-sign BV's theory, but I'm not a big chicken wing eater. But like the cheese breads and stuff like that, you know who will kill you for some cheese bread is my daughter. Lorna will hunt you down and stab you for a
Michelle and Holly,
breadstick or two. Yeah, it's
there's a point where they'd rather eat the cheese bread than the pizza.
Yeah.
The Pizza Hut cheese bread's phenomenal.
I don't like Pizza Hut's pizza anymore. It's really lacking in for me anymore. But you know what's
Their
come on?
sauce is really rich.
What's that, BB?
Sorry, their sauce is really rich.
Yeah, I don't know. But one pizza that's come on strong for me over years later is Domino's. Domino's product's really good now. I don't know. We had that one that's on Telegraph that opened up. It's pretty good. Give it a shot next time we're going to buy there.
I do like the cheese bread from Little Caesars, actually.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The Italian cheese bread's delicious.
With a Little Caesar sauce, man. That's good
It's
stuff.
nothing but butter and cheese.
It's terrible. Your heart's stopping as you eat it. But All right, so there's a little look at Papa John's. Sorry, no shakaroni, but let's be honest, the shakaroni pizza was just a pepperoni pizza, so it's not like we're not missing too much. But there we go, some jalapeno popper rolls from.
I mean, I'll
Papa
snack on them
John's.
throughout the show, but that's not, that's not really an endorsement.
So tell us about this. Kind of goes with I was watching Rock and Austin wrestle today, so this kind of fits in.
So I talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago that I wanted to get the new Rock. Well, they're the Project Rock 3s from Under Armour, according to their documentation here.
Size 14.
Size 14. They got them in the boat size, baby. So we have the official shoe of the show in the Starberries. We're definitely down with the Starberries. But I needed a new pair of shoes. I just rocked a pair of generic Under Armours before I bought at Dunham's. Nothing crazy. And I happened to catch these on Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Instagram, and I was like, those are a snazzy kick that I kind of dig. So I'm like, let me stop being cheap for once in my life, because usually I don't spend more than like $50 for a pair of shoes. These bad boys, direct from Under Armour, cost me $140. But they did have them in boat size 14, to Steve's point here. They shipped like they were supposed to be out like a week ago, and it took forever to ship to me. I don't know if the world just sucks right now, or it's not like we're in a pandemic or whatever. But so it was in Romulus for like 4 days, and then some random dude today, Heather said, in a minivan, rolls up and just chucks a box on my front porch, and it's my rock shoes that show up. So
officially for today.
I got to tell you, the branding on them's phenomenal. I don't know if you've.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing that guy's good at,
it's branding,
marketing,
right?
branding,
Yeah. So he's got the Brahma Bull. His big slogan is the blood, sweat, and respect. Oh man, I got a sticker for the Bolt here. Oh, that's
man,
cool.
look at that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it on my chest.
I had never opened these yet, so, and I got an official like a BS signed thing from the.
So this is like an official Fat Guys in a Little podcast unboxing.
Yeah, we're unboxing.
The first unboxing.
So it's branded all the way through to the tissue paper.
Wow, yeah.
On the inside of this.
Save that and wipe
box.
your ass with it.
And like I said, what I liked about them, and as I see them in person, I still do. They've got a real blacked out look to them, which is what I kind of like. As Steve's rocking the Adidas.
Adidas.
Yeah, and they're also a unique. They're like a weird kind of flex tie to them and everything. They're not as light as I would have assumed they are. Because you ever get modern shoes and how light modern shoes can be?
These got a little bit of an ASIC feel to them. They look a little bit. I like ASICs.
Yeah, and
I had kind of the Adidas with the thing going down there.
It's even got the Brahma Bull like in the back corners of it and everything, and a little embossed. I just dig the way they look. I got to tell you, folks. I'm gonna
try one on one of your feet.
I'm gonna put one of them on, and we'll see how close they are to a size 14 boat.
Now, if Bill or I bought these, we need wides.
Yeah, this is just a standard 14.
Do they had wides? Were wides an option?
I don't believe so.
And you bought these directly from the Under Armour website?
From Under Armour's website. When his Instagram said they were available, I was like, oh, I want a snazzy new pair of kicks.
Now,
I found that they only offer wides on certain shoes for Under Armour.
And
they don't do it
not these Rock ones?
I don't know. I'm checking
Under Armour don't like fat people too much.
Now, the other thing I'll tell you that I'm not used to, this is a little bit of a departure from me. It's kind of almost, the tongue is built in. So there's no separate tongue.
You don't have to pull the tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a big, I didn't notice that. On the bottom, it's a giant Brahma Bull.
Oh, okay.
Right on the bottom. I love watching fat guys get new shoes on. It's like
Yeah.
when me with the Starberries, it took me an hour to get the fucking things on.
Halfway through
Yeah,
the
I'm curious if these are real 14s or Starberry 14s.
Yeah, and you
They feel a little Starberry 14, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, we'll hear a giant popping noise here in a second.
I noticed on their website it's only 3.6 as far as the ratings are concerned.
Out of what do you mean?
Doesn't look like there's a wide option at all.
Okay, once I got them on, they've got some flex to them and everything like that. I'm comfortable in them as a 14. There's no way your platypus foot and BV's platypus foot's getting in there.
I think these aren't an option.
Yeah, I think that they're not going to work for you and BV.
So going around the room, or room and satellite,
the digital room.
What is the most you've paid for a pair of shoes?
For me, this is it right now. I've never paid.
This is $140.
I've never paid this much.
Bill, what's the most you've paid?
I paid $185 for a pair of dress shoes.
Wow.
What were
Sneakers?
they,
I think
Kate?
the most expensive I've ever paid is about $130.
What'd you buy? What do
years
you
ago.
got there? That must have been some kind of name or something.
That was like that was years ago. That was like when the Barkley Air Max were really popular.
Barkley
About
Air
Barkley
Max.
shoes were kind of cool though. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, it was like the 93, 94.
Watching him wedge this thing on his foot and then looks at me in the face like, "Oh, they're pretty comfortable. They fit pretty easy," is the best part.
It's not my. It's not the shoe manufacturer's fault.
Actually, these are the ones I paid $85 for these Adidas. That's the most I've ever paid for a shoe.
And you rock them all the time.
Yeah, I got a blue pair of these, and
The nice part is
got 'em from the fat guy store.
As we age, the nice part about aging is I can keep a pair of shoes for literally 5 years.
Yeah.
Like so,
I've had these for 2 now. When
Yeah.
did I go on my Adidas kick? 2
I'm gonna
years ago?
rock these rock ones for probably at least half a decade. I'm gonna have these mugs, and like I said, they're gonna take some getting used to the built-ins of
They
it.
look a little snug.
They're,
Not gonna lie to you.
They're not super roomy. I'm not here to tell you that. Like I told
Uh-huh.
you, you're not fitting your foot in here.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna take some time to wear them in, but the problem is with shoes nowadays, man. They're kind of snuggies.
Now you've never bought a super expensive work boot. I always imagine.
My work boots. We don't even want to get into the conversation with work boots.
What's the most you spent on a work boot?
The Keens that I wear cost $225.
So that's the most.
Oh, I didn't know we were
expensive.
discussing work
Well,
boots.
anything on your foot? He
Oh.
said dress shoes. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, work boots. I go next level on. And you know all too, as I had mine on when you came in today. The nice part is for me, being a union operating engineer, the hotel pays for most of my boots, so I don't have
alright,
to.
well.
Yeah, it's not the same kind of thing.
I just couldn't remember when I was trying to get Timberlands and I kept seeing the price. I got like the knockoff version.
You're trying to get them butters, dude?
Yeah, I was like, fuck this. I didn't get no Timberlands. And I did get a pair of Converse, the old school ones, but they're not very friendly to wide feet either.
Now, the one thing I question as I'm looking at these, I wonder. So it's got almost like that knit mesh material across the top. I wonder how durable that's going to be, or else my big toe is going to sound like poking
I think it's
out
pretty
of it.
durable. A lot of Asics are designed like that. I've had the same pair of Asics I go to the gym in for years.
And your assessment is they kind of have an ASIC vibe to them and stuff like that.
They
But
really do.
I like the way that they were all blacked out and like the little touch of the bowl and stuff like that. I thought they were a nice
Now, are you
looking
going to
shoe.
drink his tequila while you wear these shoes?
No.
Oh,
I'm not
man,
touching
what
it.
the fuck? You can
Drink
take
his
that
tequila
home
out of the
with
shoe.
you. Yeah, put the tequila in the shoe and take a shot of it.
No,
I think you have to do that now. All right, well there you go. Charles' $140 Under Armour Project Rock 3. Why 3?
Probably third edition of them. He's
Third
had several
edition?
of 'em.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's had 2 other editions.
Yeah.
Really? Nobody's bought them up until now?
No, they bought a whole bunch. I mean,
they've
he's
sold
probably
really well.
annualizing them, like
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So there you go. Now, how much do you think The Rock has on input on these shoes? Or he just goes, throw some bulls on it?
I'm gonna call it. Yeah, I think that he shows up and there's 15 of them on a piece.
He goes, that one.
Yeah, and he goes, I kind of like this one. Where we at on this? And then they go, well, it's cost this much. You'll make this much. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's the extent of Rock's input. Now, we got some reviews this week, and because of the sports stuff, a lot of us haven't watched a lot of stuff. But the first up I watched, and because I got the free trial on Peacock
You're a little
just to see
obsessed
the
with it.
show.
Yeah.
And, well, there's 2 reasons. One, which is the next review, my wife and I, we get a show, we want to watch the show. The Boys is pulling a move now. They're doing The Mandalorian
They're
now.
delaying it out for
They give you 3 the first week, 1 this week.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing 3 or 4 each week, but
Okay.
that's not the case. They've gone down to 1. So The Boys 2, season episode 4. I'm not gonna do each week. I'll wait till the end of the season to say everything. But it was a good episode. It was an hour and 10 minutes, so it was an extra long episode. Usually they're only like 59 minutes, so we got an extra 10 minutes of stuff, and it's still good. The quality is still good. It's not pulled the Brockmire yet, so
Okay.
The Boys season 2 is still good, but that'll be the last you hear from me on that one until the whole season's done, because I'm just not gonna do it every week. That's just retarded. So in the meantime, we need another show to watch, and I downloaded the Peacock app and got 2 weeks.
Wait, let me ask a question. So you have an Xbox or a Roku? What do you use?
In my living room, I use an Xbox.
Okay, and
I have an old
the app
Xbox
works
One S.
good and all that good.
Yeah, I
jazz?
downloaded the Peacock right onto the Xbox. You sign up. I signed up for it's only $10 a month if I forget the trial.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I goof up, I'll not cancel the trial in time. I only get charged $10. But I got 2 weeks to watch basically 2 seasons of Yellowstone because there's literally nothing else on that
Now,
Peacock.
so we're clear. The Yellowstone TV show is on the Paramount Network.
Yes.
And this is a Kevin Costner vehicle.
Yes.
And he also is old boy from Lost on this, the Sawyer guy with like the longer hair. I thought someone else is on.
There's a guy
it.
on there that looks just like him, but it's not him.
Okay.
One of his sons was the guy from American Beauty that took all the pictures and the weird. He's obviously
The
like
dark
way
haired
older.
guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays one of his sons.
The one that videotaped the bag.
Yeah, he's the only person you'll recognize.
It's a Kevin Spacey movie. You're not allowed to talk about that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's one of the villains in it. You'll recognize him. He plays a bad guy and everything. The last thing he played a bad guy in was a Wolverine movie, but I know you didn't see that. But you'll recognize him if you saw him. Everybody else is kind of newish or on very limited roles.
Kind of very generic.
There's no other big names really in it. It's called Yellowstone. It airs on the Paramount Network. Season 1 and 2 are on the Peacock streaming service. So if you want to watch,
are they currently airing on Paramount for 3 or anything?
Yeah,
like
3. I think 3 just finished.
Okay,
but it's in that limbo stage, like Killing Eve was for my wife, and
can't get it. To
so there's a
streaming
period
service.
before it goes to streaming, and before it comes to DVD. So
You gotta love that weird like no man's land
yeah,
that exists.
well
for
that's
streaming.
that
It's
period
so
they want
annoying.
you to get impatient and buy it.
Yeah, they're
$1.99
hoping they can sell you
an
per
episode.
episode on YouTube.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
You're
so-
like, no, I'll wait.
Yeah, so you can either wait for DVD or wait for it to come to streaming. I think it comes to DVD first, then goes to streaming. Is how it works. But watch the first season. It's 9 episodes, and the first episode is an hour and a half long. It's. I'll try. I won't blank there. So it's a little different than you expect. So Kevin Costner, there's no real heroes and villains. Everyone's just kind of dicks. And Kevin Costner is like a 5th generation rancher and giant landowner in Montana. This all takes place in Montana, and he has like 4 sons and a daughter. He has a huge family. His wife has died 20 years ago, so it's just him raising. Well, they're not raising; they're all grown, and it's all on top of that. There's a wealthy land development guy coming in from California who wants to impeach
Buying
on his
up all
land
the stuff,
and
yeah.
wants to open casinos and stuff. Then there's the Indian reservation, and there's this guy who owns the Indian casino, and he feels Kevin Costner's family has took the land from his people back in the day, so he wants to get back
So
at
there's
him.
weird rights.
So yeah,
and,
so it's all these
land
big
right kind of
and
thing,
then
yeah.
all these wealthy landowners just fighting each other is basically essentially what it is.
Are they physically fighting each other or fighting each other?
Some of the stuff gets pretty physical.
Oh, okay.
Like one of the first things, Kevin Costner's cattle gets off his land and goes off into the Indian reservation that the casino guy owns. And there's some unwritten law that once it's on the reservation, you can't touch it. And then Kevin Costner's like, fuck that. And he's got his hands in the police and everything else. He's like,
Because he's so wealthy in that.
yeah,
area.
And there ends up being a gunfight that breaks out to get these cattle back.
Jesus.
Guy gets killed and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. And it's not sanitized network stuff. It's cussing.
Well, it's deep cut cable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's that Paramount Network's deep cut cable.
As far as cussing, violence, and sex, it's probably equivalent to an HBO show. Which I was surprised. This one girl's titties were everywhere. I was like, what? And then there's scenes in strip clubs and fucking on dressers. And I was like, wow, I was not expecting this. Because
So now
Paramount Network.
Steve's in. He saw some titties.
Yeah, I'm
Steve's
all
in
good.
there.
But Paramount Network, it used to be Spike TV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently they let shit fly on that. And it's all done movie quality. Everything looks really good.
Well, I mean, you got
Everything's
Kevin
out.
Costner. You got a huge name. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yes.
got to have some budgie.
The only knock I'll give it is one of his sons is the rebellious son, right? He was in the military. He's out of the military. He doesn't want anything to do with his father. He's going to do it on his own. He's got a little Indian wife and his son, so it's Kevin Costner's grandson. And every episode, something happens to this guy. Every episode.
Like he screws up in some way, or he
Just
needs
drama
help or some way.
Like the first episode, he ends up killing his wife's brother in self-defense because he was part of that cattle thing. Next episode, he just has to be driving home. There's a van on the side of the
This
road.
guy's just constant drama.
Yeah, and in the van, there's a girl being abducted, so he ends up killing the 2 guys that abducted the girl. And nothing to do with him. It ran into it.
Yeah.
Next episode, his son gets attacked
just
by
shit
a
finds him.
yeah. Or the most far-fetched one. So one episode, he's trying to pull a tree stump out of his property, couldn't get it, so he blows it up with this like dynamite. In the hole is dinosaur bones down there. It's like come on, everything, and it's only him. It doesn't have any other characters.
So short of that character, it's a pretty good
So if
show.
you didn't binge it,
How deep are you in?
I've watched all of the first season.
Okay.
So we're working on the second season this week, and then we'll cancel Peacock. But other than that, it's all pretty good. It's just, God, it's like, maybe if you didn't binge it and it was once a week, it wouldn't feel like that guy. Well, like another example, he rides his horse off one morning just to ride his horse. He gets off. He wants to get a drink, let the horse get a drink by the water, and there's a giant grizzly bear there. It's like, seriously,
this guy's the worst karma.
Yeah, it's like, and even at one point, like Kevin Costner's driving him home back to his house, and even Kevin Costner, the characters, Kevin Costner goes, just shit happens to you all the time. He's like, you always have drama.
At least they're aware of
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's like, God, at least they figured. Oh yeah, then his wife is a teacher. She goes to break up a fight between two older boys. He gets punched in the head, and it ends up making her brain swell, and she's in the hospital. It's like, but of course, it's his wife that it happens to. So outside of that, no, the rest of the characters are great. Like I said, it's not network TV. It's more of almost more like an HBO. Feels like an HBO Max show or an HBO show. So I recommend it. I think it was pretty good. Michelle was very iffy at first. She's like, cowboys and why in Montana, this is gonna be terrible. But then she watched the first episode, it hooked her totally.
Oh, okay.
Because she's not into that kind of stuff, and it's all modern day. It's not old school cowboys and saloons and stuff like that.
Jesus.
Also, God, it also
Steve's gonna vomit up jalapeno
I
poppers.
don't think those are agreeing with me. So Yellowstone season 1, I give it an 8. It's a solid watch, and like I said, it's only 9 episodes, so it's not like you're committing too much time to it. And I find it interesting. It gives you a look at like rancher life that you don't, us city folk don't know anything about this shit, and how they got to get up in the morning and they got to do all this shit and stuff like that.
I get enough of this information from the Pioneer Woman on Food Network. I'm good.
That's
Riri
true.
Drummond tells me all I need to know about
Well,
rancher
imagine her
life.
husband was just a dick trying to
Well, he probably
manipulate.
is. We try to judge a lot of her family. Any other gems in the Peacock Network where you're kind of farting around?
No, before you show, I told you about the wrestling segment on Peacock.
Yeah.
There is one show with David Schwimmer they got on there.
It's only on the Peacock.
It's only on the Peacock, and I haven't watched it, but he is an NSA agent that goes over to England to help them with something, and he's kind of an incompetent Mr. Magoo schmuck kind of guy, and he gets put with an incompetent crew. It's supposed to be a slapstick kind of comedy where he's trying to do CIA stuff, but he's more of an idiot. There was a trailer for that. It looked okay, I guess. There's AP Bio. I don't know if you like that show.
Was the one that was network that got bought.
They have a lot of movies, like a lot of old movies. Those are on there. A lot of old TV shows. I mean, if it's stuff you just want to relive and watch that you haven't seen in years and you don't have copies of it, I guess it's a good value. That Saved by the Bell stuff's not on there because there was supposed to be some new Saved by the Bell.
Who's looking for that?
There's no Friends reunion thing on there if you people are looking for that. So right now, I don't know who's paying for this. I mean, they have a free edition I think you can get.
It's all ad-driven and all that kind of stuff.
But also it's content-driven. The free edition doesn't have Yellowstone on there. And so,
they
so
tier lock some of the stuff.
They know what's good and people are going to watch. Yellowstone's one of them. There's a couple handful of things. They're friends.
Move.
They probably hide behind that. So.
The Office is probably behind the premium tier.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dying for old NBC stuff you haven't seen in years, a lot of Saturday Night Live.
I can't tell you how many people in my life have come up to me and be like, Charles, I need to know my old NBC shows are still alive. It happens at least twice a week. It's the craziest
Well,
thing.
then you should recommend
And
Peacock.
I can tell them, check out the Peacock.
Yeah, you can. Because I don't know. If this lasts.
It's just how many of these are we going to need, people?
There's no. Okay, the DC one, as much as I love comics, shouldn't exist.
It
should
doesn't anymore. Isn't all of it on HBO Max?
It still exists though, because what the DC app has is you can comics, you can find comics on there. So, but all their shows have moved.
CBS All Access.
That one shouldn't exist. Peacock shouldn't exist, right? Quibi should never exist. I don't know what that is. What the fuck? Who's buying that?
TikTok shouldn't exist.
Yeah, TikTok shouldn't exist. But
we can keep going on different services that shouldn't exist. But
HBO Max, in all honesty,
it should have just been HBO Now. Is really what it should have been.
HBO
you
Now,
added all this
HBO Go,
extra
HBO
value,
Max.
but no one's using any of it.
Slap it all together and put it under one name.
What a complete waste.
But at least I will give HBO Max a little credit. They are putting out some unique content. And Charles, why don't you tell us about the one you saw, Raised by Wolves?
Oh my God!
This is Ridley Scott. Did it itch that sci-fi nerve?
So we talk all the time. Steve and I have a big sci-fi hole in our lives. We need some sci-fi. When you don't have any Star Wars,
big hole.
Mandalorian, we got to wait till October or November. I forget.
Bad reports coming out on that too.
Okay. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna watch it. That's all I know. So I saw this show, Raised by Wolves, a Ridley Scott joint, to Steve's point. Ridley Scott, Aliens,
Prometheus,
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yeah, I mean,
a long
Ridley
list
Scott has done a lot of,
Alexander.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
we
done
can
quite a
keep
few
going.
things.
And then he put out this turd sandwich. Okay, so okay,
How many episodes did you make?
I made it through one, and I will not go back.
You
It
pussy.
is that bad.
You gotta do at least this. How many are on? Did they release a whole season, or how much is on?
There was 3 episodes, so I think they're doing kind of like The Boys. I think you're gonna
okay.
get a big flush, and then you're gonna see a trickle.
You're gonna have someone come up to me, and it won't be Randy because he doesn't have HBO Max, but some sci-fi nerd is gonna tell you,
Yeah.
if you were stuck with it to like
Dude,
episode
there's
7,
no way.
it got so good in episode 7.
Shame on them, because dude, I'm telling you. So it starts out. There's these 2 very robotic people in a ship that gets launched into this uninhabited world, and they're talking mother and father, mother, father, mother, father, mother.
And this is that girl with the weird short hair. And
Yeah,
the silver
and she's
suit.
like asexual, and she's playing an android. So you get what's going on. So they get to this uninhabitable planet. They have, of course, Future Dome that they put up, and then she proceeds to put 6 embryos in little tanks next to her, and gives birth, or she gestates, I don't know what the term is, 6 kids into whatever. But again, they're both androids. I don't know what's going on there. I don't give a shit. I'm bailing. So they proceed to then raise these 6 kids on this weird planet. And the whole time they're talking to them about being atheist. There's a weird religious angle that's coming in about like you need to be, you need to be atheist and all this kind of stuff. Like the robots are trying to teach these humans to be atheist, but then 5 of the 6 kids die, and the last kid, Campion, is still there. Campion is this kid's name, and it was driving me bonkers because that's the worst, stupidest name ever.
Why don't you just go Champion at that point?
And then so Campion, and she's saying in that weird like I'm a robot voice, and it was just driving me nuts.
Bill is on the edge of his seat. If he
I'm
wants to
telling
watch
you,
this immediately.
dude, do not watch this hunk of shit.
He's falling asleep.
Dude. Watch and read the back of a cereal box before watching.
What about
this.
toothpaste? Can I
Yeah,
read toothpaste?
read toothpaste.
Oh, okay.
So then she proceeds. She's degrading because she's an android. So we have to degrade. But then like the other guy is like he's seeing her degradation. So then she's like freaking out, and then she kills him. Oh my god! And then she kills him, the other robot, because she's getting some kind of weird like next level. This isn't normal for our species of robot. Blah 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 blah. Who cares? All right. During all this freak out, 3 other humans come down, and they're like oddly crusaders.
Is that the dude from Vikings?
Yes, the
Lothgard
dude
or
from
whatever his name
Vikings
is, yeah.
comes down, and she eventually like goes full-fledged like supernova, and like the ship that the humans came down in, she goes up to in like a weird android way, and like kills them all. And then she goes after all the Crusader people, but of course, old boy from Vikings survives somehow. I don't know. Steve, this is the fucking... I'm trying to give you like some kind of nuggets to make sense of this turd. Just know, people, this is a 1 out of 10. This is terrible. This is everything that you hate about science fiction because it's so up its own ass that it doesn't just get down to like brass tacks of like, ships and laser guns and all this kind of stuff, and maybe a neat kind of angle based on something, but it's so bad. I cannot even begin to tell you. You couldn't pay me. This is the Big Show. I'm not watching episode 2. It is terrible. And then like the kids are like feral because they grew up in like this nondescript planet. So like,
I thought they were all dead.
Well, Campion's alive. No, the kid's gonna be special somehow.
He's
It's
gonna
like,
be the chosen one.
who gives a shit? This is so bad, dude. This is just a 1 out of 10. Avoid
Wow.
Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. If you do the craziness and subscribe to HBO Max in the hopes of watching Raised by Wolves, shame on you. You just literally flushed your money if you didn't do it during the trial period. Oh my God, avoid this show.
Well, this is the classic. The trailer looks pretty good, sci-fi wise.
Yeah.
And then when you see it, ooh. Ugh.
Dude, it's just, man.
How many sci-fi movies are we falling for? That? We're such fish.
Yeah, we're going to fall for it with that Dune trailer we just watched a little bit ago.
We didn't see Dune.
Which
BV, see, he doesn't fall for that shit. He's like, fuck it, I'm not watching that
Yeah,
bullshit.
BB's over
Me
here.
and you dumbasses. Ooh, sci-fi, it gotta be good.
Yeah.
All because of Battlestar. If Battlestar wasn't good.
Battlestar Galactica is a great show.
We never fell for that
Is
show.
that on the Peacock? Don't they own Sci-Fi?
It should be. I don't know. I could look. But
Yeah, I don't know.
you have them all on DVD. What the
Yeah,
fuck
I
do you
don't
do
know.
for
I bought the whole thing.
So,
So.
yeah. All
Anyway,
right.
1 out of 10 for Raised by Wolves on HBO Max. This show's terrible, ladies and gentlemen.
So a turd sandwich for Charles on Raised by Wolves. Yellowstone's pretty good, 8 out of 10. And the boys are pulling a dick move and giving me 1 episode a week, so I'll cover that later. Now, Steve's Animation Corner. I promoted this episode. I finally saw it. I rented it at Family Video for $4. Superman, Man
You've
of
been talking
Tomorrow.
about it for like 3 weeks now. at this
Yeah, and I really built that up in my head.
point.
I thought you just forgot to take it off the notes.
No. I finally saw it, and I'll give you your positives. Your positive are the voice acting was solid. I do like the Archer animation. It kind of works with superheroes, how they did that.
Okay.
It has a very cell-shaded look. Lobo, you familiar with Lobo?
Yeah,
He
he's
has
the
big
weird
dude,
werewolf
motorcycle,
looking
yeah,
guy,
bounty
yeah.
hunter. They got Opie from Sons of Anarchy to play his
Okay.
voice, so that was a perfect fit right
Yeah.
there. He did a great
Great.
job. Zachary Quinto from Heroes, he plays Lex
Yeah.
Luthor. So he had a good voice. They always get pretty good voice acting for it.
Because it's probably a decent paycheck and not a lot of work, is what
Yeah.
I would argue. I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't you do it if you were famous?
Yeah. But here's the problem. So these movies are targeted to comic book nerds like myself that already know all the backstories and stuff.
Oh.
And this movie was just another Superman origin story. It's like,
Is it a different take?
no, it's not really. Well, it was
Really?
more modern. It took place now. So, like,
As opposed to the cornfields in the
yeah,
in the
so you would
50s?
say he probably crashed in 88, and now it's probably, 2020. So he's what? However old he is, 2000, 30-ish or something like that. So that it was, and he fought Parasite. So they gave a kind of a Parasite to one of his villains that I wish they'd put in a movie where he could suck power out of people, almost like a Rogue from X-Men. He can do that, but he's evil, So that was kind of cool, and they kind of showed how he's made. And Lobo obviously came down and was hunting Superman, and someone was paying.
Are the
it,
Teen Titans go in it?
No, they're not in it. John the
Then
Martian
you can sign
Manhunter.
me out for that one.
And like I said, the animation was good, the voice acting was good, but the story was just kind of eh. It was another Superman origin story, which is,
How long is it? Hour
hour and a half. Yeah, it was about an hour and a half. Even Michelle was zoning out a little bit. So it's like, you know your crowd. We all know Superman story. Do we really need it again? Do we really need to know he struggled in high school? Do we really need to know his mom, Pa Kent, and it's like, and his mom made his Superman suit, and it's like, okay, all right.
It
So-
literally is just an origin story.
It really is what it was, and then he ends up fighting Lobo for a little bit, and then him and Lobo team up to fight the Parasite, and then it ends. That's the story in a nutshell. It was just very lackluster story. Is really what this one suffers from. So huge Superman fan, but I got to give this one to Steve 6 out of 10.
Oh man,
A bonus
was it
for the
on
voice.
Netflix? I didn't know. If
Uh,
you gave it a 6, I figured it was on
no,
Netflix.
it wasn't Netflix. If anything else, it'll show up on HBO Max before anything else. But it was just
The
average.
HBO
at
Max
best.
6.
Yeah, that's what it is. Well, so then it'd be a 5 is on HBO Max. So unfortunately, something I hyped up for 3 weeks ends up being just kind of meh. So it happens, right? And so I don't know the next animated thing I'll be watching, but I'll keep an eye out for everyone because everyone's worried about the new animation.
Oh man,
coming.
make sure you tease it on the website or
Yeah.
something like that.
So this week, I am glad I didn't have to go lift a very heavy treadmill.
yeah.
But what did you have to get, Charles?
So
And Bill found it.
Yeah, BV's got it. So I need some cardio equipment. Obviously we've talked at length kind of about how I'm doing a home gym here, and I don't want to do anything in an actual gym. Although Gretchen did open it up, and I had to call Planet Fitness and cancel my membership. They no longer.
Yeah, Randy canceled our LA Fitness.
Oh, he was quick to do that on you, huh? No
Yeah.
law fitness for Steve, huh?
So I'm probably going to go over to Planet Fitness.
Yeah, it's great. I know Wiggs is the anti that, but I think for your average 40, 50-year-old dude, it's a great value, especially if you do the single gym one at $10, man.
I always do the 20 because I always end up putzing around going to different ones.
Yeah, and that's still a good value, I'd
Yeah,
argue.
and that right now, if you sign up, not to give promotion to Planet Fitness, no fees.
Well, yeah, because they're probably losing people left and right like me
Yeah,
who are like, dude, I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going back and stuff. So I wanted to get some cardio equipment, and we talked about early part of the week. I was going to get a treadmill. I was going to get a Soul F80, and it no longer is available anywhere. It's still that it seemed like we still got a little bit of hangover time. I'm hoping I can start to get some used gym equipment pretty good as the gyms open back up. Maybe we can go to someone's house and get a cheap used treadmill. That'd be kind of nice. So I ended up getting an Rogue Echo Airdyne bike that they make, and this is a freaking torture device. So Rogue Fitness, who is and I'm sure anyone who's into any kind of fitness equipment or anything, Rogue makes all the stuff for strongmen. Rogue makes everything. And so this particular bike is basically like every one of Steve kind of saw it, and BV's got the picture up, and I'll cut to it here. It's kind of like those old school bikes that have the wind in the front of it. But man, Steve, and I put you on it yesterday or Thursday. What day were you over? Yeah, for the football special. This thing is a death trap. It doesn't. Okay, so a bicycle, when you ride a bike and you stop pedaling, it coasts. This thing, literally, if you don't pedal, it doesn't move. It is the most stellar bike. The build quality of it's amazing. It fits me and Steve really well. It's got no ricketiness to it. It's Rogue Fitness, so it's all overbuilt and it's really well designed and everything. But it's just, man, I pour sweat on this thing. I cannot begin to tell you. BV's picked up bicycle riding for his little bit of cardio and stuff like that. This thing, if you think you ride a regular bike and then go do this, oh my God. So it also costs $750 direct from Rogue. Rogue Fitness is in Columbus, Ohio, which you'll remember from my West Side versus the World is where all the West Side barbell stuff is. It came really fast. It came in 2 days and stuff like that. The other thing that's of note, too, is Heather I got her one of those heart rate monitors. You ever see those strap heart rate monitors? It paired automatically with the bike. Like, you didn't have to do anything, and it automatically reads her heart rate and everything like that. I can't say enough good things about the build quality. It's got a belt drive and everything like that. I love this piece of equipment. I just don't like riding it because, oh, my God, Steve, it is just you burn calories like crazy because your arms are going, your feet, everything, man. It's a top-notch piece of cardio equipment. I think it's going to be pretty good for years to come. And if you read the reviews of, like, true people that do this for a living that review fitness equipment, the build quality on it's amazing. Like, all the welds are really, you don't feel like you're going to knock this thing over and really kind of, break anything on it and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of Rogue Echo bike, but, man, is it brutal.
If I can ask real quick, how was was it easy assembly or?
It was really easy. So basically, you just had to put the arms on it and then put the 2 cross feet, and that's really it. I mean, it didn't. And what's crazy too, and again, it's a testament to Rogue Fitness and how well they do. They send you all the tools you need to put it together. So like, it came with like a little open box wrench. It came with a screwdriver, everything. The only piece of upgrade that I got a wind guard for it, to make it that much more brutal because I'm a psychopath, and it stops it from the wind blast. Steve got on it and got pissed. He's like, why ain't no wind hitting you? Like,
Yeah, they put the plastic. I've never seen that on those before where they covered the wind.
Yeah,
that was the bonus of getting killed is you got a little wind.
No. So not on the Echo bike. But yeah, Rogue Fitness Echo bike. I can't say enough good things about it. We've had it now for about 3-4 days, and we've loved it ever since. We've been using it on a daily basis. It also, one of the things that's of note, too, is it moves really easy. You just kind of tip it up, get it on those front wheels, and you can kind of shuffle it around your gym or do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
So,
we got a listener called A Some Ho. Something tells me that's Tim Isaacson, but how much laundry can that thing hang after I quit working out on it?
Yeah.
He wants to know how much.
First of all, I'll let you know in 6 weeks when I put it through its laundry paces of, different things.
This has to be Tim Isaacson. Ree Drummond is a whore. She's a dirty carrot top.
Oh, my God. Jeez.
Yeah,
is he coming under a different name because he beefed with BV last week?
I don't know. Maybe it's not, but he's some hoe.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
So he's got comments for us this week. All right. Now, before I go on to what to watch this week, the one thing I forgot to mention in the sports section, because we were such good sports, my wife has been really big into the tennis this week. So she's been watching.
The U.S. Open's going on.
Yeah, so that's another reason we haven't watched a lot of stuff. She's been watching a lot of the tennis.
Has BV you been checking out the U.S. Open?
I actually watched quite a bit of it. Yeah. I know earlier I missed the match today, but Naomi Osaka won the women's championship earlier today.
She's really turned it on. I know enough about. I know her because she's actually really done really well. You know, I know that.
Serena Williams lost, and the girl
Yeah, she lost in the semis.
the girl she lost to every time, I don't know her name, but she was wearing neon green, whatever. Every time she hit the ball, she was like Ric Flair. Woo! Woo!
Yeah, Victoria Azarenka.
It's like this chick was watching a Ric Flair marathon before she got out.
Man.
Does she not do that, Bill? Though the big woo every time she hits it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What are your thoughts on the U.S. Open, Bill? Since you've been watching it.
Well, it's been interesting. I don't know if you did you notice or hear about that kind of fluke thing with Novak Djokovic where
he hit the
he
lady,
got a little
right?
frustrated,
Yeah, I
hit
saw
the lady
that.
in the throat with a ball lady.
Yeah.
So he
And
gets
they're, like,
disqualified.
they're also threatening that lady now at this point
Who's
too.
threatening?
Oh,
her?
wow.
Yeah,
I don't
I
care.
saw that.
But-
Yeah, people are idiots.
But a lot of the top players, you know, like Federer and Nadal weren't there. And so when Djokovic got disqualified, it kind of opened everything up. So you got a lot of particularly on the men's side, a lot of young guys that have been trying to break through but can't get over the hump on those three. And it's been kind of interesting to see them have an actual chance to win. So I mean, if you're into tennis, I mean, I'm a tennis fan, so I've enjoyed it. But
Yeah, I mean,
No
Shelton,
crowds, right? There's no
No.
crowds at all.
a couple
no,
of
just
trainers and stuff
just
in
their like team, their box, you know, like their coach and family or whatever. That's basically it.
My thing about tennis, though, it drives me bananas, is the goddamn announcers start whispering. Oh yeah, she's been really training in the off season.
I've honestly never watched.
Oh my
any kind
god,
of plug
speak
sound.
up, you assholes!
Oh man,
I
Well,
hate that.
But I mean, sometimes they talk to, you know, they always have someone that's like right on court. It's like sitting.
Wow, the
They're
two
right in
people
the-
I heard weren't on court. They were off to the side. We were watching. I've watched 3 matches.
Well, with
now
no
on the show.
crowd though, you can hear just about everything.
I don't give a shit. Talk. I can't fucking hear you. It makes a terrible viewing experience.
Try not to break their concentration.
Yeah, see, some young go. Usually Djokovic be hitting him with the shaft, not with the balls.
Jesus.
That's got to be Isaacson. Isaacson, why you got a fake name right now? But anyways, yeah. So the other thing that's driving me nuts is the noise the shoe makes sliding on the
squeak
fucking.
and squawk.
Yeah, it's worse than the NBA. It's like you
Oh,
really
wow.
hear it with no crowd. It's like ah. For some reason, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
The only
to me.
thing I notice whenever I watch tennis, which is very rarely, but like, is the insane speed on their serves. Man, they shoot or they hit that ball so goddamn hard. It is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
like 98 miles an hour and stuff. And I'm out there. I'm like,
yeah,
just trying to get it over there.
I
in
had 98,
bounds.
but they'll go flying 6 courts over. I mean, what's
And
going
my thing,
on?
they play so much. It's like it's like six, 7 games sometimes. You know, it's like I'd be fucking just passing out on that court.
Well,
I
you
mean,
don't see any fat guys doing
Yeah,
tennis.
yeah, no, not really. All right, so that was a random look at tennis because I know Bill enjoys it, and Bill's fucking with him. So now we're gonna go into what to watch this week. Now, not a lot of stuff, of course. We're hitting that juicy COVID time where it's gonna be hard to
It's
find
a real
stuff.
lolly time. It's kind of annoying.
But this one, Netflix has had in their pocket, and I think have waited on it. This is Ratchet. I think it's Ratchet, not Ratcheted, but maybe I'm wrong. This is about the nurse in One
Nurse
Flew Over the
Ratched,
Cuckoo's
yeah.
Nest. It's the prequel to her. My wife was offended when I told her I don't want to see this because up until I met my wife, I never gave 2 shits about mental illness patients and all that shit. And then, of course, our mother, but that's beside the point. So like movies about it and stuff have never appealed to me. It just doesn't. My wife loves it. She likes to. One thing about Yellowstone, we're watching it, and there's some medical scenes in it. The girl hurts her head. They literally just did like a World War II bandage around her head. My wife's like, they wouldn't have done that. First off, they'd have called the EMS. Then we were sent. I'm like, stop. You know, it's the same way with your wife with the school stuff. You know, with people, same thing. So,
and it's just as annoying.
yeah, Ratcheted, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest prequel. I'm a no, but Michelle's a yes. Charles?
I hate Stephen King unless it's Stand By Me. I'm a no. But Heather will watch it. I know she will, but I'm a no.
And Bill?
No.
No. All right, next up, Netflix has got another juicy documentary for Charles, Challenger, The Final Flight. This is the last moments of what went wrong with the Challenger back in the 80s. I've seen enough of this. I'm a no on this, Charles.
I'm kind of not into it either. I'll be honest with you. I don't really.
We know
I'm
the end result.
Yeah, but no, I'm a no.
And Bill?
I remember it happening. I don't need to see that's one of those things I don't think I need to see all the detail about. So no,
Yeah.
for me too.
All right, now it seems like every other week there's a Republican documentary on YouTube by a conspiracy theorist guy with a tinfoil hat. So now it's the Democrats' turn. This is called All In: The Fight for Democracy. This is a documentary. It covers, I think, that Georgia governor run with the black lady who tried to be the governor, but kind of got screwed out of it or something. And it's basically the Democratic version of why you should be Democrat. And it's a big documentary about that. I don't like the Republican documentary, so I don't like this one either. I'm a big no. Charles?
You said the Achilles heel of this documentary. It airs on Netflix. It's a no.
It's on Amazon.
Or on Amazon, rather. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
And BV?
There's too many reasons for me to say no that they're not worth repeating. So just no.
Okay. All right. Now, Charles, I put this on here because it's one of your favorite shows.
Yeah, I love it.
I gave it a chance. I watched 2 episodes. I don't get it. It's not for me. So, Pen 15, complete season 2 on Hulu. I'm a no. Charles?
I'm a huge yes. I think it's super awkward and super fun. I'll definitely be checking
You
it
love awkward humor way more than
out.
I
I
do.
do. I really do.
And BV?
Yeah, I can't. A show about middle school. Just I'm too old. No.
Well, it's about middle school, but the girls playing middle school is like 30.
Yeah,
so it, makes,
yeah.
it really makes no sense whatsoever.
You gotta suspend disbelief. all right?
It's so weird. I don't
I'm
know.
not good at that. Then, so
Steve
no.
can watch every Marvel movie and
I
turn his
can.
brain off,
I
but he
can,
can't
but-
watch this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. All right, and then new video games this week: WWE 2K Battlegrounds. This looks almost like a mobile game, but it's coming out for all the
Is it
platforms.
like
You
arcade?
see that? Yeah, see that thing behind Bill? Yeah, they're short little chubby guys, and they do like super moves flying through the air and stuff like that. I'm a no.
Is it cheap or is it a $60 release?
I think it's a full $60 release because it's 2K. They gotta have their monies. So I'm a no on this one, Charles.
I'll tell you what, it looked fun for $10. I do like an
Yeah,
arcade
yeah.
NBA Jam meets.
Yeah,
That'd be
meets wrestling.
fun, but yeah,
For
for $60,
$60?
no,
Yeah.
you're crazy.
Bill.
I mean, I'm not going to buy it, but if you had it, I was over hanging out, I'd play it.
So that's a no. I'm dying for a really good wrestling game. I wish there was supposed to be one over the summer about the WrestleFest graphics where a guy was making it in Retromania, and I guess because of COVID has been pushed back. I would love one last good wrestling game.
Yeah.
Those 2K games have been trash. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's all we're getting is arcadey little midgy guys running around. So I'm big no on that one. Charles, what's happening in UFC and bare knuckle fighting?
Yeah, so first of all, this just broke today. Conor McGregor up for sexual assault charges in Corsica,
Where
which
is
apparently
Corsica?
it's an island outside of the France or something like that. Anyway, it's probably like a, like a Caribbean kind of thing or whatever. But
He's his
The-
own worst enemy, isn't he?
this is like the third time. At some point, dude, like where there's enough smoke.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, dude, he just got engaged to that D. Devlin chick and all this stuff. It's like
I thought he was married.
I don't know. Nonetheless, but yeah, he just to your point, he's just his own worst enemy, man. He just can't get his shit together. Good UFC fight night today from UFC Apex. Michelle Watterson, you might know her as the Karate Hate.
Karate Hate.
That sounds like a female fight. I'm out.
That's Steve's favorite fighter.
Yeah, Steve
I'm
loves
out.
it. Steve is gonna be tuning in for that. Versus Angela Hill. Angela Hill's a little tough chick. I'm gonna check it out. And then I didn't get a hold of you and BV. I kind of watched it on my own. BKFC 12 took place last night from Daytona Beach, Florida. They had a different way of watching it this time. It was on the BKFC app. I paid $6 for a month of subscriptions, which I'll cancel after the first month. And you get the whole backlog of all the other pay-per-views.
Aren't there only like 5 pay-per-views?
There's 12. BKFC 12. What are you talking about? I've watched probably all of them.
Yeah, what are you gonna watch?
I love
Just
bare
watch.
knuckle, man. I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just extra brutal. But anyway, it's a great value. They also had an Apple TV app. $6, man. You can't go wrong. Watch all the BKFCs and then cancel it, and then the next pay-per-view I'll get it back again. That's how I'm gonna roll. But Thiago Alves rather had a split decision over Julian Lane.
I like how you say this like anyone knows who they are.
Well,
First of all.
he was a pretty. Thiago Alves was a pretty famous UFC fighter.
Yes, and Julian Lane is on the Ultimate Fighter. He's also been in a bunch of big KFC, man. You should know him by now. And then Kendall Grove Hector Lombard, again, more MMA guys. Hector Lombard KO'd him in the first round. He was also like a foot shorter than him. It was crazy. So anyway, that's your up to date on the BKFC. I can't get enough of it, man. Bare knuckle is just amazing.
But before the Ultimate Fighting section ends, Bill, tell us about Dick Kick City.
Yeah, tell us about the
All right,
Bellator event.
So last night, I'm flipping around a little bit from the basketball to the tennis. I happened to see Bellator was on. I flip on it really quickly, and within the first, 10 seconds,
hold on a second. Bellator's on Paramount, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I flip it on, I'm watching, and this fight is a guy named Raymond Daniels versus Peter Staninik. And so I just flip to it. I'm trying to figure out if there's anybody I can recognize. I'm trying to see what the main event was. And literally 10 seconds into it, Daniels round kicks Staninik right in the dick. Just lays him out, and it was pretty bad. He took almost the entire 5 minutes before he was ready to go again. So I'm just, I'm looking to catch a good replay. I'm just going to see like how bad is this going to be. They finally restart the fight after about, probably 4.5 minutes, and literally they're not going for any more than another 10 seconds. And I don't know if you can kind of see it when I move here, but he, the guy in the far with the blue glove there, Staninik, went to kind of jump as if he was going to do some sort of a kind of a jump kick or whatnot, and went right into another spinning round kick. It was on an upward angle. Dead shot into the dick. This dude goes down immediately. He is yelping in pain, and he was yelping for about 10 minutes. Wow. The doctor comes in after about 30 seconds, and they just stop the fight immediately and call it no contest.
You think they broke his ball? Like, you think a ball broke?
Well, they had to they had to take him out on a stretcher, and I looked up a report on it earlier today. Apparently, he has a groin contusion. But his quote here that he said to everyone is, we're good to go, y'all. I'm at the hospital. My dick is cleared. Everything's cleared. I just got a contusion in my groin. We're Gucci now. I got my ride waiting. So
okay.
I thought it looked like one of those ones I thought maybe like he was going to have like internal injuries and probably never father any more kids. I mean, it was almost as bad as one of those things you see where someone screws up on a skateboard and comes like down full force on a rail. I mean, it was devastating. It was like, since we joke a lot about the dick kicks when we watch MMA fights, I was just like, that was the most devastating sequence of like dick kick after dick kick I'd ever seen. So I thought I'd mention it here.
Oh, man. So there you go.
BV with the dick kick report.
Put that dick kick report.
Hey, it happens.
Can't have it each week, but we will have to keep on top of that. So we got a lot of news this week, Charles. Got a lot of things happening.
In the world of useless happening stuff. This week, I didn't know.
Charles, are you familiar with the Oscars and the Academy Awards?
Yeah, we discuss them here every year. We pick a bunch of stuff and they never get right. Yeah. I'm well aware.
Well, they set out a new set of standards. Have you seen this?
I know of this. Yes.
So maybe not starting this year, but next year and the year after.
They canceled them for this year, didn't they?
No, they postponed them. They're going to be. They're coming.
They're usually
in
like February, aren't they?
Yeah, they're shooting for April this year. So what they're going to do is they're going to have. It's called inclusion standards. So to be nominated for Best Picture, you had to fill out a form of all the different races of people that you hired for your movie. So you have to have X amount of people behind the scenes, far as African American, Asian, Mexican, all that good stuff, Latino. Sorry, and then also. To be considered for Best Picture by the year 2024, you have to have a minority representative either as the lead actor or a supporting actor in your movie, or you will not be considered. I have a little bit of problem with that because some historic movies, like say a Schindler's List, you're just gonna shoehorn. That's my only problem with it. Fictional, whatever you can have whatever race you have, and I understand the behind the scenes is great. I'm behind it most of the way, but if the story and the history of it, if you got to alter it just to fit something to be considered for a Best Picture, I think that's a little weird. But other than that, I have no problem with it. What do you think?
I think it's like a classic like Hollywood overcorrection where you start out with good intentions and then you go so hooked so hard the other way that like you missed the mark. Like someone was
Yeah.
like, instead of saying like, hey, you know, we need to have a lot of these people represented, and we're a multicultural society and all this kind of stuff. And I get that, but like you just hit the nail on the head. If you have a historical or drama that takes place in like an internment camp or something like that, like what do you do here? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It doesn't make the movie any less great. I don't understand.
so-
So it's Hollywood, man.
They might have to revisit that.
The problem is with Hollywood is sometimes they make the far rights like they're as crazy as the far right paints them to be sometimes, and it's like that's the like that's the thing that a lot of people don't get is like both sides got issues. You know, just be normal in the middle. You know, and that's interesting.
Bill, any thoughts on that?
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, I don't give a rat's ass about the Oscars at all, but I will say that, sort of generally speaking, I mean, I think diversity and inclusion is an important aspect of society, and I think that, you know, I like the fact that they're trying to make steps to go in that direction. That being said, the problem, and sort of a little bit sort of to add on to Charles's point, is that when you take it to a certain extreme, to the point where it starts to become hard conditions, quotas, it starts to look like sort of like the extreme of what the stereotype is for things like affirmative action and whatnot, then I worry then that it starts to marginalize the actual contributions that the minorities you're trying to highlight are making in the first place. Because now you're creating that stigma where it's like, well, we had to include one or some in order to be considered. And so then it starts to look like that's the only reason it did. They did. And I think it would be better if they would just more kind of organically promote diversity and inclusion and not put these people in a position where the contributions that they make are constantly going to be questioned or marginalized because people just assume they're the token to be considered for awards.
Right.
Well, it's kind of in the NFL struggles with this, as we talked about Eric Bieniemy on the football show and stuff like that. There's the Rooney Rule in the NFL, and a lot of people feel like they just give random black head coaches interviews, to BV's point, just to work in line with the Rooney Rule, and never were actually considering him. So imagine they just throw a character in just because they need to qualify. It's a weird. I don't know. It's just an overcorrection, I think, is what it boils down to.
It went too far. So, in our next story here, in next two stories, remember of the word spinoff, because we're going to get two new spinoffs. So, just because Blackish is a popular show, and I'm not going to knock it, I do enjoy the show from time to time, except for when they got the awkward divorce. But,
Still super good.
I like the show, so don't get me wrong. I don't like all the spinoffs. And guess what's happening with Blackish? Another spinoff, but they are spinning off my favorite character on there. One of my favorite, Pops.
Pops is one of your favorite characters on that show?
Yeah, why? What's wrong with him? You don't like him?
He's okay. I especially the mom. I don't like the mom.
No, I don't like the
I
mom,
do
but I like
struggle
Pops.
with the mom. The Pops thing, but they made him kind of weak with the whole when he found the other chick and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It kind of meanders a little bit. I'm with you. I don't like any of these spinoffs. I don't watch any. I also don't watch any of the spinoffs off Goldberg's, even though I don't think they're going to be able to have that with Brian Callen. But I don't watch any of the spinoffs. I don't know. I don't watch Fear the Walking Dead. I don't watch Walking Dead anymore either. But you know, and that's what you're going to touch on here in a second.
Yeah, so Oldish is now a spinoff of Blackish. It's going to follow Pops and the mom in their life now, I think. Bill, any thoughts on that spinoff? Will you watch that?
Well, of course. I mean, I love Blackish. I think the first two spinoffs have been total hot garbage. This one, I tend to think it'll probably also be garbage, but I do like the Pops character quite a bit. I have a little bit of a difference. I think, you know, as far as the character development, they're showing him having a hard time sort of dealing with his aging and all the mistakes he's made, but he's still generally a funny character. If there is a chance to have a decent spinoff, this would be it. But I doubt it will happen. So I'm not. I might take a look at an episode just to see if it, you know, surprises me. But I don't expect it to be very good at all.
Yeah, I don't either. So as we were talking also on spinoffs, The Walking Dead is ending after season 11. Finally,
Hallelujah.
It'll be over by 2022. So it's still kind of a ways to go.
Here's my thing. So you put on here that the spinoff is gonna be Carol and Darryl. They're the only ones left. How is it a spinoff at this point when they?
From what I understand, they're going to start already I don't know how far you are, but they've
I
established.
stopped when Carl died.
Yeah, they've established Carol's character now as more of a wanting to go. Like, she disappeared on a fishing boat for years and came back, and so she more wants to be that wandering soul type thing. And Darryl already kind of is because of his motorcycle life and stuff. So I imagine it's gonna be them.
He's also akin to Carol. All the
Yeah,
time,
so
man,
those
at least.
two out on the road traveling is what it's going to be about. Now, mind you, so The
Is
Walking
it because
Dead.
he's under contract for like 6,000 years when AMC decided to lock up Norman Reedus forever?
Yeah, he's the
That's
only,
more than likely what's happening here. Hey, look, we got to get away from The Walking Dead. Throw him over here.
They're not getting away from The Walking Dead, though, because there's a new show coming from The Walking Dead about teenagers making it through. There's already Fear the Walking Dead. There's going to be this spinoff. And then there's also not one, but 3 Rick Grimes movies coming to AMC also of what happened to his character and where he's at. So, yeah, they're ending the show, but not really. You still got a lot.
Are you watching it still on a regular basis?
I watch The Walking Dead because my DVR still records it, so I'll watch it, but I'll fast forward through at least 60% of it. Fear the Walking Dead, it records that too, but I just start deleting those. I watched it, and none of it made sense to me, and I was like, this is terrible.
I know you don't want to admit it, but the Negan character ruined that show.
Unfortunately, you did, but I do
Yeah.
like that actor.
You
and I
love
do
him,
yeah,
Jeffrey, whatever, Dean Morgan,
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. I
You
like that
love
actor,
him, but
yeah.
he ruined the show. You don't want to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, or you could say the writing, because that was the 3rd time they faced a crazy cult leader type dude. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, they faced the governor, then they faced, it's kind of rinse and repeaty. And by the time he
that
came around,
season
it was the
peaked
3rd
in
time.
the prison for me.
Huh?
In the prison is when that series peaked for me.
Yeah, right after they killed the governor. That was about the same season. He governor had a tank. Remember that?
Because the governor and him were beefing with the prison.
Yeah. And then probably should have wrapped it up right then.
Yeah.
Bill, I know your woman's a big Walking Dead fan. Any thoughts on this?
The show I thought was never really good in the first place. I would like to see an overall moratorium on freaking zombie shows and movies because it's so overplayed. It's ridiculous. I guess my only question, if I'm going to sort of play along for a second though, how does having a spinoff with Darryl and Carol like leave them as far as being able to put a proper ending to the show The Walking Dead?
Well,
what can be resolved? What they just a certain group decides to die, or they decide to go their own way, and then
there's a couple things they can do here. There was a time jump for a while, so the show could be what happened during that time jump, and then there's allegedly going to be another time jump before the end of the show, so it could be one of those things. Because a lot of people are like, well, spoilers, Darryl and Carol are going to live, so they're not going to die.
Yeah.
So there's some different things they can do there, but I don't know. Who the fuck knows? It's coming to an end, and yay. But then you're still going to have a shitload more. It's all AMC has. What do you want me to do? They're losing Better Call Saul, too. That's over after this year.
Is it?
Yeah, so they ain't got much.
AMC's running low.
Yeah, they got to find their next Walking Dead. I tried it with Preacher, but it didn't take. All right, and then earlier this week, of course, Charles and I have already talked about this. The Xbox Series S. That is the more weaker version of the 2 new systems
It
coming out.
doesn't do the 4K gaming.
Yeah.
It does 1440.
Yeah,
which
something
is
weird. And it doesn't have a disk drive, so everything you buy is digital. And it only has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which...
If you're going to go pure digital, that's crazy. And the other thing they talked about on the Bombcast this week, the new memory that's in the new systems is a proprietary type of drive. So you're not even going to be able to swap the drive out on this, at least not natively, I guess I should say. There'll be some workaround once the world happens or whatever. But, like, it sounds appetizing. And I got to tell you, they put the freaking screws to Sony big time by dropping that price like that. You know, Sony's like, shit, what do we do here?
Yeah, because... It's funny you say that, and then the Xbox Series X is the Cadillac that has everything that's $500. One of our earlier podcasts, because we were talking to Gabe about this, and he's like, "Well, didn't Charles say it could be like $1,000?" Well, Charles was obviously wrong.
Yeah, way wrong.
Yeah, he was way wrong, and they kept
I'm
it
into
at
Sony.
500.
Sony hasn't released the number yet. Sony might.
They're hitting that 500.
They got to.
Yeah, there's no fucking.
They're
way.
coming up this week. I want to say I saw a thing. Where
What's
they're
their
gonna have an event.
This is a
week.
reenactment of Sony Pro of their thing. 500. They're gonna walk off stage. They wanted 6 or 7.
They could tier it and go with like a 500 lower end, maybe. I don't know.
Now Sony said to have an all digital version with no drive, so they can mark
make
that one down.
500, and then I am shocked. But it's more that Microsoft wants you in the ecosystem. Like they don't, they're not worried about hardware. They're worried about longevity of keeping your dollars streaming to them. Man, it's crazy. They also announced that they're going to do the mobile gaming stuff is going to happen with the streaming and all that. Did you see any of that?
The xCloud stuff.
Yeah,
and all that?
they're finally going to roll that out publicly.
They sent me a free background and icon because I signed up
like
for the
an early
beta
ambassadors thing.
yeah, for the xCloud.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with them, but I guess if I wanted to put them on my
Are you
Xbox
interested by either of these? What's Steve's opinion?
if I didn't have the PC, yeah, but I bought that PC, so no. So no. I wouldn't get
$4.99 though, man. $4.99. Because you got to figure a season or two that's going to be $3.99. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like that's a lot of hardware for like a few $100 though.
Yeah, I mean it's a great deal. I mean, if I didn't have the PC, I'd probably go for it.
Yeah, it's a tough thing.
But with that, I don't think.
God, Sony has got to be pissed.
Bill, does this entice you to get an Xbox at all?
No.
Okay, there we go.
I've never been into Xbox though, so I wouldn't. If it was 300, I wouldn't buy it.
It is 300.
Well, for the
I'm talking about the better one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I never liked their controller, so I never really got into it.
I love their controller. That's one thing I love.
To me, it just comes down to so here's the problem right now for Xbox, if you're honest. But here's the best part: it's supposed to be natively able to play all Xbox One games and everything like that, right? Because there's no new games. That's the problem right now. So like, if you plunk down the $500 in cash, that's cool. You got a new Xbox. What are you playing? That's the other thing that,
Well, I mean, the Vikings is supposed to come out launch date as
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah. The Valhalla. I call the Vikings.
Just straight up call them Vikings. Yeah.
Boy, but History Channel missed a good cross branding there, didn't they? So you have the Game Pass to go with it. Cyberpunk's gonna be out by then. NBA 2K1.
Cyberpunk already got delayed 7 times. It's supposed to be out.
Yeah, but I mean, there's gonna be games to play on it. It's just they won't be exclusive. And that's why I want the PS5, because they're going to have exclusives I can't get on the PC. So there you go. And now, of course, the Game Pass, where Charles and I both said it's great value.
Great value.
Getting even better. So they're taking the EA Play, and they've come together with Game Pass for no additional money, which was surprising. And it is now going to be part of Game Pass. Now, EA, don't get your panties in a bunch. EA Play, there's 2 different versions. There's EA Play Pro, where that's what I have on my PC that I got that lucky upgrade for, which has Madden 21 on it. I just found out today it has FIFA 21, but I'm never going to play FIFA.
Nonetheless, it's there.
Beautiful looking games, just never playing it. And also the Star Wars Rogue Squadron or the new coming out, that's going to be on there. Now the EA Play is an old vault. So Mass Effects are on there, Madden 20 and older are on there.
It's still a good pack-in for whatever. I'm just saying.
If you haven't played those games, Command and Conquer Remasters on there, so it's a good value for no more money.
Yeah,
so that's
the price is free.
Yeah, but don't think you're getting Madden 21 or some brand new stuff. But you'll have access to older games, older Sims.
Is it going to knock down the price of the upgrade to the next tier? So in other words, if I'm an Xbox Game Pass person. Am I instead of
want an EA Play Pro?
Yeah,
that I highly doubt because EA probably wants that extra money.
Okay,
I don't know. I'd have to find out about that one. They didn't say anything about that. Right now, it's just a Play version. But still, also Burnout Paradise is on there. So if there's some old EA games that you're just itching to play that you've never played before, you can now get them free with your Game Pass. I will be renewing the Game Pass in May when mine expires because, I mean, you figure that's the other news note. I don't know if I put it on there. So the Game Pass for PC was only $5 a month because it was in beta. They're moving it out of beta, and now it's $10 a month. Okay. That's still $120 a year, right? And you can usually get a discount or find it cheap somewhere. So $120 a year. I don't have to pay for Xbox Live on a PC. Online play is still free on PC, and all I got to do is play 2 games I've never played before, and I get my money back, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, 2 $60 games, which I've already done with Gears Tactic.
I mean, we don't have to justify the Game Pass.
Yeah, Game Pass is a great deal.
Yeah.
So, oh, the other thing I
It would
heard,
be crazy to have one of those consoles and not have that service.
the one thing Microsoft is doing for these new consoles, did you hear about this one? They're doing cell phone style. So you can walk in.
But they did that with the Xbox One X, I want to say. They had like you pay like
$35 a month
over 24 months. Or
yeah, but what
like
they
that.
do is they include Game Pass with it too. So it's
They want you in the ecosystem.
but you're gonna pay a little
man.
more. But at the same time, you're still gonna get.
But if you were gonna buy a console and Game Pass, which I think you should, it's you basically like getting it for free is basically
yeah. So there you go. Look at Xbox and what they're doing. Sony's up next. They're gonna be coming eventually. I mean, probably within the next couple of weeks, we're gonna hear a price.
It's supposed to be this week. So they got an event this week. I don't want to say they're gonna have a price.
Yeah,
but
we don't know for sure, but
it was on their Instagram.
if I'm a
account.
betting man, it's 500, and
I
then
don't see how it can't be.
500,
And they are pissed.
and
They are
then
so pissed.
I'm gonna guess probably 400 for the one without the disc drive.
yeah, I guess they're at home right now going, "You dicks!"
Yeah,
What
You're
the-
just cutting to our profits.
yeah.
Well,
It's the most profitable division in all of Sony is Sony PlayStation.
Yeah, so there you go. So big old console war. Charles and I are loving it. I was talking to our nephew. He is all in on the Xbox Series X.
Okay.
He told his mom and sister it's what he wants for Christmas. He wants nothing else.
Oh, okay.
So he will have a Series X. So maybe we'll get him back up here and get him on here and have him talk about it.
Have them Skype in.
And his big game he wants on it is the 2K1. He loves that
Yeah.
NBA. So and he's got the Madden.
He needs the
also.
realistic sweat particles.
But he's also looking forward to Cyberpunk. He said I was quite surprised by that. He goes,
again, will get delayed again.
yeah, well, if it gets out. So there you go. New systems. BV gives two shits, but some other people are excited. And Charles is waiting on the new remake of the Mafia, and so am I.
25th. That'll be
Yeah.
right
Are you
now.
getting a PS4 or PlayStation?
PlayStation 4? Yeah.
Did I just say PS4 or PlayStation?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's
PlayStation
PS4 or PC, I should
So
say.
I've got I got an OG Xbox One, which I don't want to put it on there because it's dirt. It only does 1080p. How
see
dare
a
you?
PS3 sitting there.
Well, I got my PS4 Pro in the living room with my VR, so I'll bring that back here and play it back here. So I will be getting it for my PlayStation 4 Pro.
Oh, okay. All right, Bill, are you a big fan of Borat?
I wouldn't say a big fan. I mean, it was a funny movie. It was a little disturbing at times too, but it was funny.
All the dicks hanging out. We got uncomfortable.
So Borat 2 allegedly he's been cited a lot in the past few years doing stuff dressed like Borat. So they say they're gonna hold it to they haven't really promoted it right before the election because I guess a lot of it he's lampooning rednecks and diehard Trump fans and stuff like that. So they want to wait until close to the election and release that movie.
But the problem with the problem with Borat is it didn't age well. It's one of those things you watch it once, you go, "This is really funny shit," and you never watch it again.
Yeah, I think one time is good. Yeah,
and then so now you took a character that was already kind of like very hard to watch multiple times. Then you put him in a political climate and make him just do political stuff and political lampooning. It's really going to age poorly at this point. I don't know. I'll watch it because I think the first Borat's a funny movie, but I don't know, man.
I won't go to the theater to see it, but I'd definitely watch it on DVD or something like that.
Yeah.
He kind of strikes out with all his other characters, though. Like I didn't find the one with the Bruno or whatever, where he's the fashionist. I didn't think that was that funny.
Borat's hilarious.
Borat was the
But
pinnacle.
it was a
I
one
think.
and done, though. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man, he is hilarious. I'll see you next movie. Yeah.
So, Bill, would you rent Borat 2 in the future if it comes out on DVD?
I mean, assuming I still have like a HBO or something, I'd probably watch it just to check it out. But the thing with this too is I agree with Charles. It didn't age well at all. But on top of it, there's only so many things it's going to probably have to be him doing the same things he did before in a different time with different issues. It's like a rinse repeat thing with him. There's only like 2 or 3 with it. It's dick and nut shots, stupid little, toilet humor or whatever. And so he's going to go meet different people and rile them up in a different way. I mean, it seems like a big waste. And if he was going to do that, he probably should have, he should have took advantage of it when it was hot and did it quicker. But waiting, like when he came back recently, I don't know if I don't think it was a new show, but he sort of reprised the Ali G character not too long ago, which I was never a big fan of in the first place. But I don't think that really held over well either. So
For me, I'm not a huge fan of awkward humor, and that's
Yeah.
Borat. Borat did a good job with the awkward humor there, but I don't think I need a second dose of it. But we'll find out and see, I guess. All right, so one more thing back into video game world. Call of Duty, if you know, I've been playing a lot with Gabe and his friends.
Yeah.
Warzone, it's kind of like Fortnite, but Call of Duty version. They have vehicles in there, helicopters, stuff like that.
Kind of like an old school Battlefield.
Yeah,
thing?
yeah,
Do
kinda.
they randomly spawn and stuff?
No, they're usually in the
There's-
same spots on the map. You
Okay.
kind of get a general idea where they're at. Well, they removed all of them. So we were playing the other night, and I was like, where the fuck are all the... Usually we jump this helicopter, we take off. There's no where's the helicopter? What the... Come to find out, there was such a... At the last update, that if you took a vehicle and put it in a certain part of the map, it crashed their whole server.
Wow.
So everyone playing, everything went blank on all different games.
Jesus.
So they had to physically remove all the vehicles out of the war zone. They're working on it now, so they might
You
have
gotta
it.
love software, man.
Yeah, just
it's
weird
so
stuff.
Crazy, man. One little comma somewhere is like throwing their whole server bank down.
Yeah, and what's funny is once players found out, that's all they did. They took the vehicles.
So they were just killing it.
Just killing it. It doesn't benefit you in game or does anything for
Just,
you.
hey, check
It
this
just
out.
kills it for everyone.
You want to watch me cancel the whole game?
You watch Call of Duty Apocalypse.
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
so yeah,
That sucks though. Someone's in the background just clacking them keys, going, "Oh shit!
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit!"
Pull the vehicles. Get the test servers up. We gotta figure this
Yeah,
out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So now last week we were talking about Amazon getting drones, and again, Walmart's going to war with Amazon. I don't know if Amazon's aware of this. Walmart is testing their drones in North Carolina. So Walmart, same thing as Amazon. It's a matter of time, Charles. You're gonna walk out your house and you're just gonna see drones everywhere flying around.
I gotta tell you, with the way that my shoes got delivered, I'll take a drone because this shit sat in Ramos for 4 days. I'm like, can I get my shoes? Can I
Yeah.
get my shoes? No.
I ordered 12 days ago. I ordered something for Bert for his birthday.
Okay.
Brand new Snake Eyes figure. They re-released Snake Eyes, and it's like nice package, $20. 12 days ago, still not to my house.
Yeah,
It's only coming from Pennsylvania
Yeah, it's
because that state hates me.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm supposed to go see Bert tomorrow. Listen, bro, your birthday gift hasn't showed up yet.
Sorry.
But
BB, you got any annoying shipping stories on your end?
No, things have been coming pretty much timely, but
Except your election ballot.
yes. You gonna get your chilies to go dropped off by a drone?
no.
BB's worried about the liability with drones. He doesn't like it. He doesn't trust it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of risk involved there.
So, the Oscars has new standards. Oldish is a spinoff. Walking Dead is ending. Xbox got great deals, and the Game Pass is even better now. Borat's coming out before the election. Call of Duty is getting crashed, and some poor developers pulled his hair out. And Walmart is going to war with Amazon over their drones, and then they're testing theirs in North Carolina. Now, Bill, I want to give you a scenario, and then you could tell me what your solution is. I will try not to influence because I've already told Charles the scenario before the thing. So, Bill, you're married to Abby for so many years or whatever else. Say Abby had an ex-fiance, correct? Not correct.
Correct, right?
Some boyfriend she was with for years. She dumped her to get with. They broke up, and she got with your handsome man, Meat. And then all of a sudden, this boyfriend calls Abby up and says, "Listen, I'm moving to Alaska. That table that we bought together at this house, you can have it if you want it." And then Abby goes, "Oh, yeah, I want that." And then brings it and puts it in your living room. So every time you get up to go watch the sports, you get to look at that table that she got from her ex-boyfriend. Are you cool with that, or you say, no, that table doesn't come in the house?
Okay, well, first of all, I have to admit I'm dying to know where this question came from, like where this happened practically that it came up. But I'm sure you can tell me later. But
Yeah.
okay, I mean, I think it's a problem no matter, because the first thing that popped in my mind when I read it in the notes was, well, how long ago were they together? How far
we're
down
gonna
the
say
line are we?
7 months ago.
Oh, we're talking less than a year.
Maybe more than a year. Let me take that back. So about a year ago, and then they break up, and then she met a new man, and then got married 7 months later. So a year to 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, so then the thing is now is this guy says, "Hey, I'm moving. You want the table?" Well, okay, first of all, I would hope that anyone, right, like, and maybe I'm being a little, because this isn't like a jealousy kind of thing, but first of all, I would hope that the wife would have enough respect. So I hope Abby would have enough respect to not be like suddenly I want to bring one of my pieces of furniture I bought with my ex-boyfriend into our house. So that wouldn't be an issue in the first place. If it were, though, to come up, no, absolutely not. And it's not even like there's any sort of threatening piece of it. It's just like, I don't want your shit in my house. I certainly don't want some shit that you bought with some fucking boyfriend. I mean, it'd have to be a phenomenal table to consider it. I mean, if it was,
BB's gonna grade it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, man. If this is like
marble or something,
yeah. I mean, if this
Stellar
is one of those,
gilded
like, yeah,
legs.
if it was like this guy was really rich or something, and this was some like real elaborate, expensive table that was just the best thing I've ever seen, maybe. But
let me flip the script on you guys here for a moment.
all right, good.
What if Abby takes the table but doesn't tell you it came from Jerome and puts it in the house, and then she doesn't tell you, but then you find out 6-8 months later? Are you pissed? Yes or no?
Oh, that's ass time. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm not.
Are you
I'm not
doing
only
backyard
pissed,
wresling and jumping through the table?
I'm not only pissed, but that table and possibly her is going through a fucking window. All right, no. That's you want because this isn't about the dude now. That's just blatant disrespect, and something's got to get straight fucking broke. And the only reason it wouldn't be her is because I don't hit women.
Yeah,
But,
I
oh,
did the
hell
same
no.
scenario with Michelle. Like if she had an ex-boyfriend that gave her, like I said, an air fryer, and I walk in the kitchen, I look at that air fryer, and I got to know that you got it. I'd grab that air fryer, and chuck it straight out the window. Yeah, it just.
Yeah, I wouldn't chuck it out the window. I'd chuck it into something so it can break in many pieces.
Oh,
Wow.
well, hit
Oh
the
no,
drive-thru.
fuck that. No, that's
I guess
that to me has nothing to do with the man that she was with before. That's just disrespect.
I feel like it's because I used an often African American name. The BB got so angry.
Yeah,
It's 'cause
I think
his
so.
racism
Wow.
came
No, it has
out.
nothing to do with
Your
that. First of all, I think
racism
it's-
came out.
I think it's quite racist of you to imply that Jerome is a minority name. There are plenty of
You're
Caucasian
ridiculous,
men
first
named
of all.
Jerome.
We need to be a little more woke on this show. Okay, so I guess my thing would be, how broke am I? Because like that could be like, can I go out?
You are like you are now.
Can we afford a new table? Yes.
Yes.
Then we don't need the table.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, no, he can keep his table. But why? No, he can keep his table.
Yeah, because I
It's
don't
not
want to
about
walk in
the
the
money.
room. That table's sitting there. I'd be like, did she fuck on that table? Was she bent over that coffee
Oh
table
my
getting bent?
God.
I don't even want to think that when I see this guy's fucking table. That's what will pop in my head immediately.
Oh my god.
I mean, fuck, they probably jizzed on that table.
Oh
Get that table
my
out of here.
God. Wow.
I would go back to, and this is sort of like an antiquated way of thinking that people don't seem to appreciate these days. Like, if you're the husband, where is your fucking pride as a man? I don't give a damn if I'm so broke I don't have a goddamn table. I don't want some other dude that used to be with my woman's table in my fucking house. Because fuck him and fuck you, that's why.
Fine, I won't take the table.
No, hell no.
That
What if they
table's
were a
gotta
pair of
fucking-
rock shoes?
Yeah, you even fucking consider bringing that table in the house and we got a fucking problem.
Wow.
So all three of us kind of agree on that
So
story.
hold on. So what you're telling me though? So wait, what if it's child support money? That's okay. So taking money for child support and stuff like that's okay, but taking a table's outlandish.
Well, child support
well,
money,
hold on.
you're technically not
what
supposed
about
to see it.
spousal alimony?
So if Michelle has a little run
What
with
if she's
somebody
got
else,
alimony?
Well, first of
Well,
all,
it's
if you
going to
marry
her,
her,
it
there
ain't
is
going
no
to-
alimony because that kills alimony.
What's that?
once you get
Or
married,
if
the
once you
alimony.
marry her, that kills the alimony.
What if she had a crazy prenuptial agreement that entitled her to alimony even after she had?
Well, first of all, if you're hooked up with a broad that's getting alimony, you don't marry her until that shit's done.
Oh,
But no, see that's okay. See that kind of stuff is different because that's like a legal settlement kind of thing. That's not. There's no
sentimental
There's
value.
no sentimental value in
Okay,
alimony.
okay,
There's
okay.
no sentimental
Hold on.
value in
Okay,
child
okay.
support.
What if she gets the table and Craigslist it and gets money for the table?
Well, then it's not my house, so I don't care.
You know what?
So
I can
you're
kind
okay
of
with
respect that.
Yeah, I'm fine
So
with
if you
that.
flip the table, BB's
Now,
okay. with
here's
it.
a-
Well,
Here's
look, if he says, you know what, you bought something for me, years ago when I was broke, and I just wanted to repay you the $2,000, then fuck yeah, we'll take the money.
What about
that's
this
different.
scenario for you two? Because you two are so Heather/Abby has an ex-fiance, and he's moving away, and they bought a dog together, a dachshund, and he can't keep the dog.
You
He
mean
wants to-
dachshund? You always call them
I was saying, it's
dachshund.
not dachshund.
A
A
what?
wiener
A
dog,
dachshund?
a wiener dog, or a bulldog for him. What are you guys doing? You guys taking the dog?
I'm taking the dog. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I got no. The dog doesn't need to have. You wouldn't take the dog. They didn't
No.
fuck
Yeah,
on the
the dog's
dog to your table thing.
That's still something. That's a pet they bought together.
Oh, my
He can give it
God.
to his parents.
The pet has nothing to do with it.
I
The
don't
pet has
care. I
nothing
don't
but
want-
love.
I don't want the pet in there.
Oh my God, Steve,
I
drawing the
know,
line. Give me that dog. Give me that damn dog.
Charles taking the dog.
Yeah, I love the dog.
What if the
Yeah.
dog hates you?
Well, I love the dog. It'll grow to love me, man. Let me tell you, I love the dog.
Bill, you taking the dog?
Yeah, that ain't the dog's fault, man. That's
Hey, that's your animal lovers coming through there. I knew.
well,
I'd
but
get you
that's
on that
that's
one.
also. I mean, it's yeah. The dog's gonna have a personality. Whatever. It's not just some inanimate object that like you guys bought together. And like, I mean,
What if
I'm
the
not
dog
worried about
cries at the window
jizz
all the
on it,
time
but-
for him, though? What if the
What?
dog does nothing but whimper and whine at the door for him the whole time? Like for like.
That's
at
why
least
I
the
wouldn't have the
first
dog.
week of you having it, like the dog would just cry at the window. How would you handle that?
Oh.
Well, that'll pass. Not the dog's fault.
But
The
what if
dog
your ex-boyfriend is African American and the dog grown to like African American males and hate white males?
Oh,
When
gee.
you guys
The
come
dog's
together-
racist like
the dog's
BB?
racist.
Wow.
Oh
Then
my
what are you
God.
doing?
Would you take a bed from
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I'm not taking sheets.
No.
All right, so there's our hypothetical, kind of not, but there's a reasoning behind it, and I'll tell you later, Bill.
Yeah.
But all right, that's going to do us for this week. Hopefully.
So wait, do you have a table to sell or no? I don't know.
No, I don't have a table. I have no table. So that's going to do it for this week. Of course, you can catch
Catch
us
Steve on Facebook Marketplace. with his
Facebook
table.
If you see a nice table on there. You can catch us at fatguyslittlepodcast.com, Google Play, Apple iTunes, everywhere you can catch podcasts. I've been really enjoying them on my Google podcast app.
You use a podcast app? I use
Yeah.
that Pocket Cast when I had the Android.
Whatever the default one is with my phone. It's got
Okay.
it's a little circle with little colored lines in it. I've really been enjoying the Conan O'Brien podcast.
Yeah,
I like
Conan
his-
Needs a Friend. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good
yeah.
show.
I listen to that. A
It's
little
very
bit,
good.
one too many ads on there that he's always
That's the
walking
beauty
through.
of the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys listen to. You guys listen to a lot of podcasts.
I don't listen to any music in the car.
I don't
anymore.
listen to Joe Rogan on a regular basis. I only listen to Joe
You
Rogan.
base it on whatever
I watch
guest.
his highlights, and if it's a guest I really find interesting, like the money guy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like I said, the one with Ron White's 3 hours. The one with Post Malone was 3 hours, and they're just babbling. So it's like, I'm good on that.
Well, do you listen to just parts of the ones you listen to, or do you just listen to them all the way
Well,
through?
Conan O'Brien's only like an hour, so
Yeah,
I'll
Conan O'Brien's
listen.
very tight.
I'll listen to that. Leo Laporte is like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'll listen to his. And then sometime ours, I listen back, get a laugh, sometimes. But like I said, Joe Rogan, I'm selective on because not everything's great.
And
on
that's
his.
basically so. Like when it comes to Rogan, I'll check the guest and see what's going on there. The other one I love Theo Vaughn. I think Theo Vaughn's this past weekend is what it's called. He's like this
I don't know that
Cajun
one.
hillbilly guy. He's got like trappings and ties to like Rogan and all that. He cracks me up. I love him. So I watched listen to this past weekend a lot.
I've been trying to find ever since that guy died on Bombcast. I felt like that guy before he died kept the Bombcast in order and going and moving the podcast. Who's the guy that died that used to host the podcast?
Ryan Davis or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
his name is.
Like,
he
he was-
died of like sleep apnea right after his wedding. and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that,
yeah. But he was the guy that kept it moving.
But
Like
Brad Shoemaker does it now. I love it.
It doesn't feel like it's very organized compared to when he was. So I,
think,
lost interest.
but
in
I
it.
think not whatever, but I think it's because of the COVID ones. The COVID ones are a little kooky or whatever.
Yeah.
I love the Bombcast. You hear me talk about it on the show all the time. It's where I go to for my video game news and knowledge.
I tried
love
multiple
it.
other video game ones. I don't
The
like any of
Bombcast
them.
is great.
So I gotta find me a good video
Jeff
game one.
Gerstmann is probably the best video game personality, or like anyone who's knowledgeable of the industry. He's second to none as far as his ability with the video games and stuff.
Well, all right, we're done promoting other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can catch us next week. Now, is this Saturday? We're going to be back Saturday? Or
Should be.
I'll guess
Yeah,
Saturday
we'll
at
keep it
7
going.
next week. Probably until Charles ever gets Sundays off again. Maybe not. It'll work out. We can watch NFL, and we can watch it. Notre Dame usually plays early in the day, so we'll be good on that. So, until next week, this is Steve,
And Charles.
and we'll catch you next